Yeah. Cassidy King here. I got my chef to left, Red and B. Mikey Wall over here to my right. This is the Sports Goombahs webcast. Welcome to the show. Sports Goombahs, a web show is brought to you by Auto Magic Car Care. Check them out, 215-322-2561, or check them out at automagiccarcare.com. Mikey Primo and Matty Litton doing the job when it comes to cleaning up your car. Also, Apple Public Adjusters, 215-783-1282. 215-783-1282 for all your insurance needs as far as putting the claim in. All the snow and ice we've been having the past couple of days, past couple of weeks, past month. It's ridiculous already. Also, Seal Roofing. Seal all your roof problems up with one phone call to Seal. 215-533-4066. That's 215-533-4066. Number one roofing company in the Delaware Valley. And my man, Larry Gilman at LarryGilman.biz. Larry Gilman will get you all your necessary clothing when it comes to printwear. Check him out at LarryGilman.biz. All right, this is the Sports Goombahs, and we are live at www.sgshow.net. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You go up there now, you see a picture of Mikey the Wall concentrating before the show started, getting his information together. Doesn't even know he's up there.
Shady.
His girlfriend's giggling right now. That's for sure. Give us a call, 267-563-2893. That's the Sports Goombahs hotline. You can also use that number, 267-563-2893. Text us. You don't want to talk to the boys? You can always text us. See what you have to say. Put it on the air. Who knows? All right, let's get right to it. I want to start the show off by, surprisingly, a little baseball talk. Darren Daulton announced today that he got his MRI. And I thought, Darren Daulton is the ex-catcher of the Philadelphia Phillies, a legend in this town, especially with the Broads. Anyway, he developed brain cancer a couple years ago, something like that. And he was just told that he is cancer-free from brain cancer. How often do you hear of that? And this fast, too. I mean, it's great for him. Good guy, good dude. Everybody likes him. Good ball player, always gave his best. Was part of that 93 chaotic World Series team that didn't win. But I think he went on and won a World Series with Florida, too, didn't he? I believe he did a couple years later.
He was there in 97.
Yeah, he was there in 93. So he got his ring. And, good for him, man. Good for him. I'm glad to see, battling this cancer stuff. It's all around us these days. I'm tired of hearing about everybody with cancer and all. But, as much as I hear about it, as much as I hear about it being cured. So, something's getting to us, but then we're also curing it. But I guess that's healthcare. That's a part of medicine. Cure and effect back and forth. Got to have the sickness to have the medicine to pay for it. It's all one big vicious circle. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, Darren, he's one of the guys that is like universally loved in the city.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, there's some people, you say, love him or hate him, like with Iverson and things like that, but everybody loves Dutch.
He has that legendary toughness about him. He caught tough behind, his knee surgery, 7 knee surgeries or in that ballpark?
It's up there, yep.
Yeah, he took a beating through his years and played on a lot of bad baseball teams, too. He was a good player with some bad teams.
I always thought that he would be that kind of guy that would be alumni on the bench there. I always thought he had the brains because he always, let's face it.
Yeah,
really. Well, no pun intended, but he didn't have a great staff. He had a couple good pitchers, Schilling being one of them during that time. But if you look, he didn't have a great pitching staff. I mean, I still look back and go, the reason why Terry Mulholland pitched as well as he did is because of the game that, Dutch called.
Right.
I mean, I think the catchers were always underrated in this city, and we've had some pretty good ones over the years, but he crops to the top here. He made that pitching staff a lot better than they really were to make that 93 run.
Yeah, he anchored that 93 team as was. That was a surprise team to everybody. I mean, it was free agent galore on that team. A bunch of dirty guys, long hair. That was they were known for that year. And one pitch.
The Wheeze kids.
Yeah, the Wheeze, whatever it was there. I mean, it was I can't remember that team hardly. I guess I remember.
Really?
Well, I remember the main guys, but the ones that were who's the right fielder on that team?
What's that?
No, sorry, I was wrong.
Eisenreich.
Yeah, I was gonna say Eisenreich.
Eisenreich. Okay,
Yeah. I cut myself off because I was like, maybe I'm
that
wrong.
made Eisenreich's career that year. That was it. There's another guy, Sexto Lescano or something like that, was the backup or him. Look that up. Is that it?
And then you had left field. You had left field. A little bit of Carmelo Martinez, right?
Nope.
No, Martinez was third. No.
Carmelo Martinez. Well, he might have been a bench player.
He wasn't on the team.
Yeah. It was.
Nah, Darren Dalton got Crucky at first.
Right.
Morandini at second. Stocker at short. Dave Hollins at third. Milt Thompson and left. Dykstra in center. Eisenreich in right. Right. On the bench, you had Mariano Duncan, Incaviglia,
and Pete Incaviglia,
Wes Chamberlain, Ricky Jordan.
All players on that team. None of those guys.
You know who else on that team? Ruben Amaro.
Was Ruben on that team?
Yeah, he was.
That's right. He wasn't it?
He was also the bat boy in the '80 World Series.
A lot of those guys, that was their year. Pete Incaviglia, he was from the American League, I think, right, for the most part of his career.
Expos.
Yeah, he was with the Expos.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
No, that was a surprise team. No one. I mean, as I can remember back, that year wasn't supposed to be a big year.
He came from. He played for Texas and Detroit and Houston before us.
John Kruk. John Kruk was that team. I mean, if you look at John Kruk,
he epitomized
that team with his dirty, slouchy, beer drinking, goofy attitude, and looked like he never worked out a day in his life. There's not a muscle on the guy, but he had focus. He could focus on that baseball when he was at the bat.
He had 316, being a fat, sloppy guy.
Yeah. He just showed you that the talent of baseball is not a matter of the physique anymore back then. And I don't think it still is. I think that eye-to-hand coordinating is so important.
As long as Prince Fielder and
there you go.
Big Poppy are hitting. I mean, Poppy's slimmed down now, but Prince Fielder's like 300 pounds.
Yep.
It's not always about your
Big
physique.
Poppy got old. Yeah, he had to slim down a little bit at that point.
You just look at it. And over the years, you've seen the better hitters or the bigger guys. I mean, if you could probably name a couple of guys that hit for a lifetime. Look at one of the best ever,
Ruth.
Ruth. I was just thinking of Tony Gwynn too.
Yeah,
he was built the same way during that period.
Kirby
Puckett. I mean, look, I'm looking at all those guys, and I'm sitting there going, it wasn't. What did they all have in common? They had great hand-eye coordination and fast hands.
That's baseball.
That's when you can roll over on the bat. When you roll over your hands, that's what they did. They were better than that.
And that's like they almost played that baseball off the pitcher's arm like a tennis ball, where they can control where they wanted it to go. Pete Rose was great at it too. Pete Rose didn't have to take a full swing at every pitch. He took that bat and he almost like a baton or something, and you point that ball to where you want it to go.
Now I remember Nails Dykstra.
He was good at that too. Yeah,
he would hold it there too. I remember it's just I'm sitting there trying to figure out.
As he with the Mets, he was better, but with the Phillies, he started strengthening up there, and he started wanting to become a home run hitter.
And I was watching him. I watch him, and he'd swing, and he'd hold the bat there, go, okay, that's where that one was, and he would look at it. He would see where he could get with, and he was notorious for running up 15, 20 count pitches on guys, just to wear down pitchers.
That's something you don't see anymore.
you don't see that.
No, because
you want to get guys out of the game.
Right.
You want to get your starting pitchers deep in the games, and we all know that that's what baseball's about.
That's why I always screamed about Phillies batting last couple of years. Yeah. They would never go in and work. Never work a pitcher. Even when they won the World Series, they didn't work pitchers. Nope. They just had to be home run hitters at the time, but never. I mean, that was as a kid growing up in baseball. Was always get in there. You got 5 pitches coming your way. You know what I mean?
You knew that you weren't taking more. You were taking at least 3.
I was always a taker. I constantly I'd run them in counts. You know, you're going to get 2 strikes from me before I'm ready to hit, unless you throw a meatball over there, something I could get into, like that type of thing.
Yeah, but never your first at bat though. Your first at bat, unless you've seen the guy a while, you look at him, and in their defense. You got to do your homework. You got to study your film.
And in this climate of baseball, where pitch count's so important to the managers, you want to work these guys. You want to get them out, unless they got a superb bullpen, which you don't want to see. Some of these teams, you don't want to see their bullpen. That's another thing. And in baseball, starting to you see it starting to turn that way, where the bullpen pitchers are so good now because they know the pitch count, the money these pitchers are making, and they know they're not going past 7 innings. So now you got to have that 7th and 8th inning pitcher who's got to be almost as good as a starter. because everybody's working.
Yeah, back in the day, it was you were in the bullpen because you weren't good enough to start.
Correct.
Nowadays, it's I'm choosing to be in the bullpen because I can throw 102.
Right. Yeah, and you can make,
and I can last more than 3 innings, 2 innings.
How about last more than 10 years?
Yeah,
too. That's another thing too in the bullpen. It's amazing. You pitch a couple. It's like Mariano Rivera showed us all how you make.
You get basically the same paycheck and you don't do much. So why not? Why would you not want to be a starting? That's gotta be the best job in the world, being a relief pitcher.
Look at
Rivera. A closer is the best job in the world.
What was Rivera? What did he play? 18 years, Mariano Rivera. Close to it.
I think he played more than that.
I mean, 2 more than Jeter, right?
21, right?
He played like 20. I think he debuted in like 94 or something.
94. Pitching 1 inning a game, basically, for the most part. Yeah. So there, that's
little known fact. He was a starter when he got called up.
Was he? Yeah. Mariano, one of a kind, man. That's for sure. When it came to the pitching end of it, freezing cold out. What was going on around you guys? I didn't shovel outside the studio for you guys.
Yeah, I definitely saw that you didn't.
I threw some salt
down.
I'm
crunching through. I was crunching through this hard ice.
No. I put some special salt down there tonight. I didn't want to shovel because my back's hurting. So I threw this salt. It's supposed to be. It's called snow eater, ice eater salt. You
need to take it back.
Get your money back.
Out.
Yeah, I know. I almost felt when I was putting it down out there. What is going on with this weather around here? I mean, where do I live at here? I mean, it's no longer the 515 studio. It's the 515 Igloo, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, today I was on the street today, right? People are angry. They're out there chopping ice off their cars on the streets, on the steps.
You have to legit chop it and scratch it.
People I'm talking to people. I got a couple customers I did today, and everybody's just miserable of this weather. It's gotten to everybody for the most part. I mean, I just want to go down to Florida, get an easy chair, sit out on a deck in a pair of shorts, and get that 80 degree, 85 degree Florida weather, and listen to the sounds of silence. As a bacon.
I can already guarantee you now, I will not end my life in Pennsylvania. No way.
You can't.
I'm going down south.
I can't
take it anymore.
I mean, we all say that. We all want to head down there. I'm focusing heading down there.
Yeah, half my family already did, so I'm just.
Well, there you
I'm
go.
the next in line.
I am half my family, so if I go down, half my family goes down there. It'll make a difference. I don't get the weather. It's gonna be cold again tonight, tomorrow.
Well, what do they say? 57? What, on Wednesday or Thursday? Oh my God! I walked out this morning.
57.
I walked out this morning and was like, oh, it's 32. Wow, it feels warm. I actually felt like when it's in the 30s and you sit there and go, I could do shorts today. You're having a problem.
I mean, I can handle a couple days of ice and cold, 4 or 5 days in a row, but a whole month of this crap.
I can handle.
Where do I live?
I can handle the snow. Remember, last couple years, we got a lot of snow, and it didn't seem half as bad as this.
Right.
I don't mind the snow.
Last year was the worst year. Last winter of my entire life.
Oh, that snow back.
I literally considered killing myself. I couldn't take it anymore.
I didn't go down to the hockey game last week. What I sent you? No, what was the game?
2 weeks ago.
But I had another game last week. I was too cold. I want to get in the car and go down there. If I go through that, I sit down. I got one Thursday night. I got the St. Louis Blues coming in here against the Flyers. Good hockey game.
That should be a good game.
Yeah, I don't know how good it could be with the Flyers. You don't know. I don't want to get on to the hockey. I want to save that for a little bit later, man. But they beat the Rangers the other day in the best defensive game they played all year. They the best defensive game played in 3 years. After watching that. So anyway, we're talking a little baseball here, and the Phillies got beat by a high school team.
Middle school, JV.
It's a JV team.
JV.
Yeah. And I'm saying, and I'm listening to some sports talk today. I'm talking to some people about it, and they're saying, well, it's just a preseason game. It's college players. I said, look, regardless, every player on the Phillies right now has to be better than a college player. Yeah. They made it to the pros, so don't give me the excuse, it's one game, it's a college team. No, that to me, that makes a difference.
If the Sixers lost to Westchester tomorrow night, and it's an exhibition game, it's still embarrassing.
Embarrassing. You don't even want to. You care. Know. I mean, I don't care if they say, "Oh, what a starter!" The starters weren't in there. What are you talking about? First of all, the team you're playing should be in awe of who they're playing against. And did you see the score of the game?
Like 6-2.
6-2. I mean, that's how do you they won the game. They were cheering like they just won the World Series. This team.
Did you see who?
And it's a Division II. It's not that. Not number one.
Did you see who was on that University of Tampa team?
No.
Ben Salem's own Andrew Amaro.
No way.
Ruben's nephew.
Oh, you got to be kidding me! Oh man.
In fact, he was the one that drew the walk, and got an RBI on the bases loaded, the precursor to that grand salami.
That's Ben Salem's own.
Wait, they hit a grand slam in that game?
Yeah.
What pitcher gave up that grand slam?
And nobody really played on the Phillies. So I mean,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter if you got
the worst player in the Phillies would be a superstar in D2.
Right, he made it to the show. I mean, right, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. And they're talking about on the radio. I said one guy I heard made a big deal about it, and I appreciated that.
It's not the fact that it's not a big deal, obviously, in the long run, but it's just embarrassing. That's they should be embarrassed.
Right. You don't want that out. I mean, that's ESPN has that.
I pulled up the thing. I didn't know Andrew Amaro was on there until I saw MLB.com put an article up.
Right. That's uncalled, and that's just that's a prelude of what we're going to see. Oh, right. Am I using the right word there? Of this season, or a microcosm of this season. It's going to get ugly. It's got to get ugly. You start off like that, it can't get no uglier than that. The only way it can get ugly if the Phillies had a forfeit because they were getting blown out.
I remember the past 10 years, we've always played Florida State. I always remember playing Florida State in the very beginning, and we always beat them but that's Florida State, a D1, probably a good. I don't even know how good they are, but probably a good D1. We just lost to a D2 team.
Yeah, these guys, the D2, no one on that team's making the pros in the next 5 years. Theoretically. Unless your last name's tomorrow. Who knows?
We already drafted them, by the way.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. We need more of that on this team.
This 3 years ago we drafted them.
That name does well for this team, I guess, right? I mean, whatever.
You have one on your World Series appearance.
I don't know how with this team the way it is, so defunct, how he's still the GM of this baseball team.
Here's my question. I was talking to my friend about this today. Who is the number one guy calling the shots for the Phillies right now?
Gillick.
I think.
Do you think? Is he?
I don't know. He doesn't say nothing.
That's the thing. There's no clear cut. This guy
doesn't say nothing.
Moves. Is it Montgomery, Gillick, Amaro?
I'll tell you why
who's
I think
making
it's Gillick. Because Amaro apologized to Ryan Howard.
But that's not PR. That's press PR.
That's okay. Well, look, I'll say it like this. I'll only say it this is because when you got somebody like Gillick, I think you have a professional that knows how to do things the right way. And by doing that, that's not how they did it in the old days. And that's not how he did it in the past. You don't blast your players. You don't kill morale. They need to believe in the people above them in order to make a team work. You do. You need to believe in your boss, your GM, your coach, whatever, because you're not going to follow somebody's lead if you don't respect them. And all that did was get everybody pissed. I don't care if you like Ryan. I thought it was a shitty thing to do. Yeah, period. If you don't like Ryan Howard, that's fine. You don't like Ryan Howard. That's one thing. You go up and you tell them you're playing like shit. If you don't get your act together, we're going to get rid of you. You don't blast them in the media and do it like that. That's just not the way it's done.
Well, even you're right. That's not how it's done. The apology doesn't mean nothing to Ryan Howard. Apology does. What does that mean to him? That doesn't mean nothing to him. I mean, he's as far as he marries a peon. As far as he's concerned, the best thing can happen to Howard is he gets traded to another team.
And that's why I think it was to put Amaro in his place too. Guess what? You're not the one calling the shots anymore.
Right.
And if you notice, no stupid deals have been made.
No deals have been made.
That's the thing. Yeah.
No deals have been made. That's the problem.
And you look at it, you go, okay,
what's going on? What are our big moves? We brought in Chad Billingsley and Aaron Harang.
Yeah.
Those are our big moves.
That's it so
far.
Chad
Billingsley is if he gets 1 year out of him, he's lucky.
And I like Billingsley when he was healthy, but he's not healthy.
Yeah. If he wouldn't be here. Because what healthy pitcher wants to pitch for this team right now? It's like Hamels wants out of here because he knows he's got a 5-year build here. He's going nowhere with his arm.
I'm looking over the roster, and I don't see any of those Jason Worth signings. There's a little under the radar. He has potential. Every guy we brought in is either a reclamation project like those two, or just a journeyman flirting around.
And you're going to
Jeff Francoeur.
You're going to have to do. You're going to have to do something like this.
That's what his name is. Yeah, it's not going to make it.
You're going to see. Probably Hamels go soon. I would guess by the end of April. I mean, by the end of May. I'm sorry. You're going to see him going. He's got to go somewhere. He's going to force that because you need to do it before he. Because I think he's going to come out really strong, really hot. Get him while his getting's good. Because he's the only valuable. He's the only value. I'm telling you, he's not going to make it. He's not going to make it to July on this team. He's gone.
How often do you see April and May trades in baseball? It doesn't happen.
He's not going to make it. I'm telling you, he's not going to make it till July. You don't see it often, but teams that want to solidify and go somewhere, he's going. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for the most part, who's left on this team? Utley, as far as who can play,
and he's hurt.
He said, of all things, he slipped on a baseball. Inside, well, I don't even know where he was, but he just slipped and rolled his ankle on a baseball while prepping for the season.
I look at this lineup as I'm a pitcher coming into town, and I'm who's my leadoff batter?
Good guess. That's a very good guess. Is it Cesar Hernandez or Freddie Galvis?
It would probably.
Well, it can't be Galvis. He can't get on base.
Well, Revere was
right. Revere. Now he's going to think he's the star of his team. That guy doesn't need to think that he's the star of a baseball team because he's already, when he had that little streak last year where he was hitting hard, but when he swings the bat, he's so out of position.
I mean, he was hitting over 300 for the. I'm pretty sure he might have ended the year hitting 300. So he's not the problem. It's the problem is who was hitting behind him was nobody. Howard wasn't hitting. Utley was hurt. Rollins. Like there was.
Rollins was about Rollins.
Rollins was out of here.
He was already traded in his head.
But like I'm looking at the team now. Like, who's the third outfielder? Like the guys on the roster, you have Brown and Revere. You can count on. Count on him means you count on in the lineup.
The conversation we're having.
Grady Sizemore, are we starting him now?
The conversation we're having about this team has got to be the worst conversation that we're having about a Phillies team in 15 years, where the players are actually every position has got a problem. Every position. I mean, what position doesn't have a problem? None of them. The one starting pitcher, which you're not even sure about right now. The two starting pitchers. I mean, Hamels is probably Hamels, and I don't know what Lee is. You never know what you got with him. It's one pitch and he could be injured. That's his MO right now.
Yep.
So it's the worst put together baseball team I can remember since when I was a kid, and I used to follow the 71, 72 teams. My father used to call them bums.
Even the guys who
90s. Yeah, even the 90s after leading up to the World Series.
They had a player though. They had a player. You had a Dalton. You had a Lieberthal. You had a guy who was a player.
But they weren't stars until '93. Is what I'm saying.
No, before then they were.
No, they weren't.
But yeah, I mean Dalton was a player.
Dalton was
a player up through the late '80s.
Three-time All-Star.
Yeah, he was.
I'm saying he wasn't very well known. You weren't going down. He wasn't filling the stadium. I know because I would go down like three times a week.
Filling the stadium. Filling a stadium isn't about players. It's about a team that's winning. In this town, you can have as many players as you want, stars, if the team's not winning. And we saw that by our basketball teams in the 80s when you had Julius Erving, George McGinnis. You had that 70s team into the 80s, and we still didn't fill those teams in those championship years. All those 4 runs we had then. So this team, if you don't win, it doesn't matter who's on the team. The win is what's important in this town, regardless.
Unless you're the Eagles, because there's a waiting list of 100,000. Unless you're that, you have to be good to fill a stadium. But I'm saying, look at the Phillies right now. Like, there's even the guys who are healthy and talented. Is Hamels and Papelbon. Like they're healthy and they're good, but they don't. But one doesn't want to be here, and one knows he isn't going to be here. So they're like you said, there's not one position. There's not one position in the entire team where you lock it in and say, that's it. That's our guy, and that's comfortable. Like,
yeah,
there's not one.
Exactly right. I mean, it's terrible. I can't. I mean, Utley's a name now. That's all he is a name. He's a has-been name on this team. I mean, he can have some good runs this year. He can have a good month or whatever. But it's gonna fizzle down eventually because he can't carry the whole team, and he's not going to see pitches. As good as much as he's digressed, he's still not going to see pitches anymore. You know what I mean? Because they know the rest of the lineup can't hurt them.
Especially when you have the rest of the lineup is
Darren Ruff. Come on.
It's Howard lefty, Brown lefty, Revere lefty, Utley lefty, Sizemore lefty.
They're done.
That's why they get killed in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning because it's just situational lefty after situational lefty, and we all know Howard can't hit anything a lefty throws.
Yeah, and if a righty's throwing breaking balls too, he can't hit that either. I mean, that's well, we're gonna talk about him. I don't get what's going on with a player like that who just can't seem to hit the ball the other way. But you don't want to work on it. Can't do it. You can't do it. I mean, how many years are we going to look at him try and hit the ball down third base on the ground when we know he hits home runs that way when he connects? That's his best.
When the entire left side of the infield is completely vacant.
Yeah,
and he still can't hit it there.
Yep. Anyway, I mean, baseball in this town is going to hurt us. we better latch on to another team, somebody else for the most part. So I was looking at some of the Yankees action. I was trying to see what A-Rod was doing over there. If he's causing trouble.
He's not even going to start, apparently.
He's not starting tomorrow against the Phillies, evidently. And, probably won't go we'll probably wait until the weekend as a DH. Do they want them here? I can't tell if they want him. They want to try and trade him, or what else they got over there in New York.
I don't think it's so much that they want him; it's that they know he's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
because you're not paying him $30 million to cut him, and nobody's taking that on. Yeah. So it's kind of just like,
just put him in
I have it, so let's just use it. Yeah.
Listen, Big George would have done something with him. He would have traded him away. He would have paid his salary if he was still alive somewhere. He would have traded him off to a team just to show him that he can. Yeah, we'll pay him to play for the A's. I don't care, you know.
And I always thought that was like, if you really truly think about it, that's like the most. That's gotta be the most like the meaning thing to yourself. Imagine you at your job. They said, "Look, we don't want you here so badly that we're gonna pay this restaurant to take you. Like, we're gonna pay you to go there because we don't want you in here."
I don't know what's worse, just putting you on the bench and letting you sit there all season. I mean, that could be worse.
But they're not gonna do that.
If he can play, he's gonna play.
Because you're not gonna waste a roster spot. That could be there for a functioning human being.
If you're a dick, you.
Well, you know what? So far he hasn't said much of anything for the most part.
He's only going to say the right thing.
Yeah. Now he knows there's a money thing here. There's a playing. You know, he's got a lot of making up to do in the league if he cares a bit. If he cares a bit about the fans and the rest of the guys in his league.
If any part of him wants to be a Hall of Famer, he's going to have to go on a nice little tour, do all the shows, say the right things.
I mean, he did the steroids, right? I mean, is that a known thing? Is that alleged still?
He pretty much admitted to it.
He admitted to it. So he took his 1-year beating. He's going to admit to it. Now, does he get an asterisk next to all his stuff?
I'm not a fan of the asterisk.
But I'm not just saying, I don't need it.
He doesn't have anything.
Well,
he doesn't have any records. He has good career numbers.
But he's on the move. No, I guess he's not on the move for the home run, right? Not.
I don't think he blew that close. He's like 100 some away, and I don't think he's getting 3 more years.
How
old is he? He's like 40.
Is he that old? Is he that old? 40 already? I'm getting old, man. Jeez.
I can't imagine. I would guess 36 or 37.
No, absolutely not. He literally debuted in like 93.
Maybe it's because we haven't seen him in a while. 93. It seems like that.
Yeah. Why? He's been out for a year?
He's what am I doing right now?
1 season's not a big deal. It's like an injury.
Born in 75. All right, so he's gonna be 40 this year. Before this year, debuted in 94. Debuted his strike season.
Without the extra stuff, it's going to be tough for him to get up and down every game.
So that's
But he is 1 year less. You know, he didn't work last year.
Yeah,
so he looks good. He looks like he's in shape. You know, I just don't know if he can see the ball.
It's hard to not be in shape though.
Well, when you don't see major league pitching for a year, that in this type of game, this type of sport, it's tough.
Is it okay? I don't know if you're banned from. Are you only banned from major league? Like, could you go down?
Theoretically, he could have played anywhere else.
I don't think he did, though.
I'm just curious. Like, can you go down?
He's got a paycheck to not play.
Yeah, right. So he wasn't. It wasn't like he was out there playing other places or taking pitches from. I mean, he might have been.
I'm sure he was. I'm sure he was working out.
Like, is it like I'm saying? Like, I know like a lot of MLB players, especially the younger ones, will play winter ball in Columbia or somewhere down south, just for getting that extra edge.
Yeah, but we would have known that.
I'm just curious. They would have been all around. I'm just saying, was he allowed to? Like, are these now? Like some of these MLB affiliations, they might be taking. No, we don't want to play Major League Baseball.
No, he was banned from playing games. That's what he is. He didn't get a baseball. He didn't get an MLB banned. He wasn't banned from the game and stuff like that. He was banned from. He got a suspension because he was caught with.
Well, I know. I'm asking.
Yeah, if he wanted to go to the Mexican League, he could have.
He could have. Like, none of these other leagues are worried about jeopardizing their status as a farm system.
I don't think
for
MLB. They would have taken him to fill that stadium in a second, man. Anybody would have come in there. I mean.
If the Tijuana Burros wanted to sign A-Rod to fill a stadium, they would have signed him. Trust me.
We don't even care if he plays. Just sign autographs when people walk in the stadium. You know, once again, let's not forget the big picture of Major League Sports. The cash. You know, you can say what all you want. You know, A-Rod didn't lose a dime by not playing. Okay, he might have lost money for future stuff, for any kind of commercial work or endorsements, things like that. That he might have lost money for. But if he comes back this year and has a good year, puts up the numbers, people will forget. If he puts up all-star numbers at 40, people will forget.
People, I don't think they'll forget. I think they'll make him piss in a cup again.
Well, no, I don't
if
think.
If you're putting up all-star numbers, no offense, at 40 after sitting out a year, pee in a cup. I'm sorry,
but you know what? The way guys keep themselves in shape at 40, and you didn't play last year in the American League, where you can DH a whole season if you want.
Okay, DH is a lot different than playing. If somebody plays 100, let's just say, I'll even be nice and say 150 games. If he actually plays the field for 150 games and has an all-star season, hitting, fielding, pee in a cup. I'm sorry, there's no freaking way you can do it.
Of course, he's going to get. He's going to get a drug test.
That's probably being done already to him. It's not going to wait until he gets those numbers. That's not how it works.
It's probably 2 weeks he has to go.
Yeah.
I just don't see it happening.
And for the record, he did not get his full salary last year.
He did.
He only got like 17 million.
So he got 2 million, 2.6.
He was fined $2 million. That's a tough.
No, he only got 2 million.
So
he was technically fined 26 million.
Tax 40% of that. He ain't make nothing.
Well, considering over his career, he's made $356 million. I think he can miss a year. He's fine.
Listen, I think George Bush paid him enough in Texas to take care of his entire life and family. That didn't matter back then. I mean, I can't. That's got to be what? If he's 40 now, what's that? 15 years ago, right? He's been
when he got Texas deal. It was about 13, 14 years ago.
I remember that was $200 million deal.
252, I believe.
Yeah, it was first $250,000. A $250 million. It was a $250 million.
$250 million.
Yeah, $250 million player. No one could believe it was like 10-year deal.
I would just assume that was going to be the new norm.
Yeah,
and it just didn't happen. Until Pujols,
yeah, right.
Everyone's like, "Oh, that's just how it's going to be now."
They struck about it, and they had the problems with the owners and the cohesion, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that with the strike years and the managers. I mean, the owners said they would never pay these players like that again. And like you said, as soon as the first player that came out, St. Louis had a shot. Boom, we're going to suck them up. For the most part. So I don't care one bit about A-Rod and or the Yankees because they're not. I don't think they're relevant this year.
Now
who's relevant? I look at some of the new players coming up in the league. I mean, if you look at baseball now, it's like it's all the old school is gone. Okay, it's your now.
Mm-hmm.
My
time to shine.
Right now, I'm the fan of I'm the guy there. It's at the table saying, yeah, well, back when played, or back when this one played. There's nobody left really. To me, Miguel Cabrera is probably the only one that's still in there from the 10-year run of players because now you got Mike Trout and Stanton, and like we were talking before the show, McCutchen, who I watched him. He's got to be 10 years in now to himself. I think. No,
probably 6.
Really? 6. I just see him around with Pittsburgh longer than that. Maybe I'm wrong. And there's Paul Goldschmidt, who's just come out of nowhere. Yeah, to be a player. Really good player. And then the pitchers are still hanging in there. I think Kershaw and Scherzer. I mean, Scherzer is what he's going to do for Washington. Scherzer, yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think he's the best in the league right now. Most part. I mean, him and Kershaw back and forth.
But the things you were mentioning, all those names, those are the top 5 or so names in Major League Baseball, but they're not like that. They're not the Jeter. They're not the A-Rod.
Right.
Like
we don't have that.
We don't have
there's
one
no even, and it's not that they're not as good as them because Mike Trout's about as good as anybody that's been around in 50 years.
Stan can stay healthy. Yeah, he's best in the game. But
and it's one of the things I was hearing that they were saying Manfred needs to really work on is marketing these players. That's his name, Rob Manfred. Well, it's just like they do have talent in baseball.
That's what he said.
They have a lot of talent.
Manfred.
It's probably the most diverse class of guys we've had in a while. I mean, because like Cashy's saying, if you go back our era, 20 years, 15, 20 years, it was the same usual suspects, the same 10, 15, and that's it. Now you can go 5, well, except on the Phillies, you can go 5, 6 deep on several teams in this league, in both leagues now, and find really good crop of characters.
I'm looking here, and Albert Pujols is the only one that comes up who's the older statesman in the top 50. Mm-hmm. They rank him number 42. He's 42 in the league.
42 is even high considering.
Yeah. I mean,
he fell off.
He fell off. Yeah, he fell off. I don't know. He fell off because American League pitching. I don't know, or just sometimes when you get all that cash, changes it. You got other things.
It's his back.
I always spoke about Howard. Once Howard got his dough, he got his big house in Florida, the wife and kids. Before you know it, his focus is no longer just baseball. And when that happens to a player, it's like any other person in a job. You have other things in your head. It's not all about baseball. That's why you see the great young players, because they're not married, don't have kids yet. They have nothing else to do but focus, talk, and play baseball all the time.
And they haven't gotten that $250 million
deal. They don't have bills. They don't have accountants and stuff like that. They're not buying 25 cars at a time. I mean, I know you look at the rookies in basketball. That's a different story. But in baseball, you got to climb that ladder. You go into in the farm teams. You're getting up there. You got A-ball, AA, AAA, whatever. It takes a while to get up through baseball.
That's one of the things I always like about baseball. It's like, in basketball, you said your first overall pick, you're the savior.
Right.
Baseball, you're the first overall pick. Here's a signing bonus. We'll see you in 4 years. You don't hear from them for a while because you gotta grow. You gotta grow up in the minors, and that's what I love about baseball. It's not like it's just I don't know. I always love
hockey.
baseball for that.
Hockey is a lot like
hockey's the same
I'm
way
sure
too.
We're gonna talk draft talk later, but and stuff like that, and trade deadlines and all that. But it's the same way. You know, they're signing guys now. A lot of the top prospects are 17 under league, 18 under league, all that stuff. Right. And they're not going to, they're already committed like to colleges. They're going to play for Boston or Michigan or whatever. You won't see them they got to serve their time in juniors. I mean, very rarely do you see anybody under 21 in the NHL anymore.
Yeah.
It's got to be very super star.
That's pretty much an NBA only thing. Because even in NFL, you can be a first round pick. I mean, I don't want to say this because the Eagles guy, because that wasn't by choice. It's because he wasn't very good. But this first round picks in the NFL, you don't hear from him. Johnny Manziel played 2 games.
I'm just looking down here. And so number 60, Brian McCann. There's an old school guy. You know, he's 60.
How is he still on it? What?
Yeah, right. He's number 60. Hamels is 63. That's how far it took me to get to a Philly.
If they came to us and said Brian McCann for Cole Hamels, I'd tell them to go, in lack of a better word, I'd tell them to go F themselves.
McCann's been around long.
Do that trade.
McCann's been around a long time. Yeah. And he's with the Yankees now. He did a stint with Atlanta. That's where we remember him from. The 90s, Atlanta, late 90s.
More than a stint. And he wasn't there, he wasn't there in the 90s, but he's been there for a while.
He started like 99, wasn't it? It was like
no,
late.
Not that
it was
late.
late.
No,
I thought
like
it was late.
2003, 2 or 3.
Yeah.
He came up. He still can hit. He just can't play catcher anymore. So he's a good DH.
I mean,
he's good.
McCann debuted in 05.
In 05. Okay, when I'm
Still 10 years. Yeah.
Evan LaGroria. I mean, I remember him back from the 2007 World Series.
But even a lot of these guys you're saying outside of Pujols are like they're older guys, but they're still only 20, 32. Like, I'm
just looking for the old guy who's been around. He's stayed on top, like Victor Martinez, players like that. You know, I'm just trying to find, like you said, when we were kids or growing up, there's always an older ball players they hung around for 10 years.
There was
All-Stars were the same players in the All-Star.
There was the Todd Heltons. He just finally hung it up. That's the kind of guy where he's been.
It seems to me
you have Ortiz. Like
it's almost every 3 years that the crop changes now. Where when we were growing up, the crop changed every 10 years. Now it just changes faster. You know what I mean?
Because you would sit there and go, who's going to get those last 3 slots on the All-Star game? Because you knew who they were. They were locked up because to us, there was only a certain amount of guys in the league that deserved that even honor. Now it's like, I don't want to say thrown around, but it's a little thrown around now. I mean, it's supposed to be the best crop of guys. Sometimes it's more of a popularity contest now.
Well, I think, there's more baseball teams, number one. You always point that out as far as when sports are. When I was back your age 20 years ago, there was less teams, so there's less chance for having guys just straggling. Mm-hmm. Now it's all over the place in all sports, especially in baseball. I mean, what are you carrying, 24 men on a baseball team? 25 men, plus you got your guys down below. So you got another 10 or 15 in the wing, sitting down there, and they're the guys that made it. Then you have your farm teams, you can bring players back and forth. And now you have how many teams in baseball now? 30, 32? 32 teams. That's a lot of players. That's a lot of guys getting chances here.
No, baseball's 30.
It's 30, yeah.
16 AL.
And when we go back, we're talking. When I go back, I'm down to like 24, 20, 22.
12 in the American. Well, I go with 12 in the American, 12 in the National.
Yeah, I forgot that
13.
Yeah.
Yeah, Houston went to the AL, so it's 15-15 now.
Yeah. Yep. So you look back and you sit there and go, oh, and then you can look back. You ever Google a stat and you go, oh, pennant, and you look and there's only one American League, National League, and
right. Pennant. What the hell's a pennant?
East and West. What the hell are you talking about?
A pennant.
I'm sure your generation is confused about all that.
A pennant is nothing but a thing on a wall.
I remember when I because I am baseball was like the one sport I've followed the longest since I was a kid. But even sometimes I'll see. Atlanta Braves, AL West champs. I'm like, wait, what? Or NL West champs. I'm like, what? Braves? What? West? Like, when did that happen? Apparently, they were the West.
The Milwaukee Braves.
No, they were in Atlanta. Then they're still the West.
Well, I know,
like
but Milwaukee
mid-90s.
Braves. I mean, you go back and they're. I always get a kick.
Pretty
out of
generous on the West terminology.
Well, I know. Well, it's because they were there and they got transferred over. They relocated. I remember my dad telling me, he goes, he always thought it was cool because he had been to so far. He was at the Baker Bowl. I think, was he at the Baker Bowl when the Phillies played there one time? So he saw the Phillies at like 4 different stadiums in Philly. So
give us a call, 267-563-2893. We're live at the 515 studios here in Bucks County, PA. They call it the Igloo for the next couple, from now on until we get something over 40 degrees for 2 days in a row. This is now called the Igloo. All right. We're going to take a break. We come back. We're going to talk some hockey, trickle into the NFL for a minute, a little NBA. We got the movie section going. We got a little movie thing going here in the half hour mark at 10:30 or so. Just hang in there. And I'm Cash the King. Got the chef to left, Brandon B. This is Sports Goombahs. We'll be right back. Sports Goombahs. Listen, shop 344tees.com for your favorite men's, women's, and kids apparel. T-shirts, hoodies, sweats, and more for every name brand available. My man Larry Gilman will take care of all your printing and embroidery needs, whether it's for business, sports, organizations, or maybe you're just opening up a pizzeria. 344tees.com will get it done. Call now, 844-542-2774. That's 844-542-2774. Their customer apparel marketing team are available not just to only give you the product you need, but give you the support and custom service that best matches your goal and budgets. Call 844-542-2774. That's 344tees.com.
BZI Group Inc. for your individual and small group health insurance needs. BZI offers free instant online insurance quotes and applications from major health insurance carriers. The BZI Group is dedicated to a no-nonsense approach to health insurance. They focus on giving you the insurance you need in a timely and cooperative manner. Whether you're looking for individual and family, group, seniors, life, or long-term coverage, BZI can help. For additional information or to speak with an insurance expert, call 1-800-431-4834 or email them at www.bzigroup.com.
Stop paying your bookie each week and start collecting. They have the best handicappers in the world, all in one place. And their only job is to win you money. Check Jeff Brandy's and all the experts at trendbetting.com. Trend betting theory is simple. Trends dominate in sports, and you will win in the long run by following the dominant trend. You will lose in the long run if you buck the dominant trend. Simple enough. That's trendbetting.com.
When you need a good roof over your head, call Seal Roofing. They've been keeping folks warm and dry for many years now and are proud of their work. Seal Roofing and Contracting does it all, whether you need simple repairs before the next big rainy season or a whole new roof. Maybe you need new siding or windows. You can be certain that when you hire Seal Roofing, you're hiring the best. Available 7 days a week with 24-hour emergency service and free estimates. Call 215-533-4066. That's 215-533-4066 or visit sealroofing.net.
Has your home or business been damaged by a recent storm and you're left to deal with the insurance company to make things right? Turn to Apple Public Adjusters and meet owners Patrick O'Donnell and Mark Stendardo. If you've suffered recent storm damage to your home or business, call 267-538-3373. That's 267-538-3373 and protect your rights and maximize your benefits.
Kick back with Goombahs. 515 Studios here in freezing cold Bucks County, Pennsylvania. Freezing cold. Got my chef to the left, Brandon B over there. Well bundled up. It's hot in here, isn't it?
Got it jacked up to 50. You told us wear our hoodies.
It's freaking hot.
I want to tell everybody how cold it is.
Like this sweatshirt with the Goombah on the left here. We're gonna be making some more of these for everybody out there. Good callers get this sweatshirt with the sleeve done and everything. Sports Goombahs. Hey, this is the pick session. That's right. This is the session where I earn money for everybody. Last week. Oh man, did I destroy him last week or what? You know? It's the pick session. It's brought to you by Auto Magic Car Care. Check them out at automagiccarcare.com. Give them a call, 215-322-2561, 322-2561. Mikey Primo and Matt Litton. They are your Auto Magic Car Care guys. All right, let's get right to it. Let me start boasting. If you didn't check us out on the website, sportsgoombahs.com, you would know. Or my Facebook page after I hit that game. 5-0 last week.
I was going to say, game. Which one?
If you're paying your bookie,
it ain't our fault.
And you're pretty stupid if you listen to the show. Because I told you last week was my hockey week. That was it. I said it right there. You know, let me go back in last week's tape and listen up. Gave you Nashville Predators. You know, the Dow Jones Predators, as I call them. Okay. Got to know when to fall with this team, though. I gave them over Colorado last week. I gave the New York Islanders over Arizona. And the Rangers over Calgary. That was all last Tuesday night. I said, come back on Thursday and take Minnesota over Nashville. Something I haven't done all year. If I don't like Nashville, I don't play them. I don't take the other team. But I watch the ebb and flow of this team and the way they've been playing. I said it. They've been barely winning games. Minnesota's hot. Very hot hockey team right now. Very good hockey. And they came into Nashville and they shut the Predators down that game. I feel good about that. I love when
You feel good about that?
I do.
I thought you'd feel dirty about that.
Well, it's not. It's about making the money for them. I understand I don't go against the Predators, but I knew when to go against them. It was a perfect game, and the game was perfect. Nashville couldn't get it together. I watched the game and all. So they came back next day, Saturday. The New York Islanders wiping out Calgary. And I told you Calgary was going through a Northeast connection here. They were going through New York, the Islanders, Boston prior to that. It was going to be a bad scene for them. They came back, the Islanders blew them out. 5-0 last week. NHL. If you were down, you're not down now. You were smart. Some people aren't as smart as you think, but anyway, let's get right to this week. We're going to give you back. We're going back to Nashville. Tonight they're playing the Rangers. Can you dig up the Rangers score tonight? Let me see the score of the Rangers-Nashville game. I stayed off this game because I don't like them coming into New York at all. Nashville's on a little bit of a road trip here. All right, they were losing 1-0 when the show started. I don't know what it is right now. Pete's going to check that out for us.
4-1 Rangers.
There you go, man. All right. Once again, stayed off. Didn't take the Rangers. It's a final. There you go. So now I'm all over Nashville tomorrow. They're going to cross the river in New Jersey and play the Jersey Devils, who are a terrible hockey team. Okay. Now Nashville's pissed. Now they've lost 2 in a row. They took a beating from Detroit. Let a lot of goals in Detroit. 5 goals in the Detroit game. I think it was 5-4 or it was 4-3, one or the other. Needless to say, anything over 2 is tough. So that's 2 losses in a row. They're going to go and beat up on a New Jersey team. Tomorrow, I'm loading up on Nashville. This is where you do it. This is how you follow this team. Okay, that's what we call them, the Dow Jones Predators. Get a pull, take. Every day is different. Also, like tomorrow, the New York Islanders are going into Dallas. So a -135. I like that number, them on the road. I went to New York Islanders tomorrow. They made a couple of trades in New York. They got another goalie.
Islanders, they got from the near it's
backup goalie. They got
Buffalo's starting goalie
is now their backup.
Yeah.
So there you go.
They got 2 great goalies. Right. Islanders loaded up on the trades today.
Yeah, Islanders are looking to make a rush here. They're going into a new stadium next year. They want to make a big blast, and they're doing it. And they're starting to gain their fans back. I mean, it's been 20 some odd years, 30 years. Wait a minute. When was the last time they were even involved in playoff action? Second, third round, something like that. It's got to go back to the 80s. It's been the 80s since they've been relevant.
I want to say 92.
Was it 92? I don't know. I have to check it out. Yeah. I think they haven't been relevant since they won their Stanley Cups. Needless to say, I like them over Dallas tomorrow, and I want to go at Minnesota. There's another team that's starting to climb my like list. Okay, the Minnesota. They're playing Ottawa. Ottawa's a hot team. Ottawa's won like 4 or 5 in a row right now. They're not that good of a hockey team to be running the streak like this. They're going to come into Minnesota, who's won, I think, 4 out of their last 5 games. So both these teams are hot right now. The number on Minnesota makes you want them. It says -170 to win 100. I like Minnesota tomorrow as well to put the stops on Ottawa. Minnesota's a good hockey team. they need to be watched. They're climbing up. We talked about Minnesota. Who went to Minnesota? Who had the big contract? Parise, right?
Yeah.
2 years ago, we talked about. Remember, I said to Parise, I can't believe he signed that contract out of New Jersey.
Yeah.
All that money to go to a town to an area like Minnesota to play hockey.
They did it right. They built up. They got something going nice there. Minnesota's better than the Flyers.
I told Parise that I said that was a bad move by him because now he's an up and coming star in this league and he's going to lose some of his power by being in Minnesota. Well, he has. He's not a name that they bring up in the NHL when they talk about the stars. But what has he done? He's part of a team that's now becoming one of the tops in the league. So there's my 3 picks. 5-0 last week. I look like I'm going to go 8-0 with these 3 picks coming up. Minnesota over Ottawa. The Islanders to go into Dallas, take care of that team. And Nashville to crush New Jersey because they're freaking mad. Those are our picks. That's for Automagic Car Care. Check them out at automagiccarcare.com. Give them a call, 215-322-2561.
For the record.
Yeah, okay, Mikey's got a play. Mikey, your play last week?
I do have a play, but before I get there, I'll back you up. Islanders haven't been out of the first round since 93.
Yeah, 93.
92, 93.
Okay.
Haven't been out of the first round.
Out of the first round. So they haven't been relevant. Right.
They haven't been out of it. They went to the playoffs a couple times. Every time lost first round.
Right. So they haven't been a relevant hockey team since their 80 runs with like what are some of those players?
Trottier.
Trottier, yeah.
They're bossy.
Right? Who's the guy? Begins with an S. What's
He's
the freaking guy we hated as Flyers.
Sakura? No.
No.
I know who you're talking about. I can see his face. The guy. This is bad. Give me an Islanders lineup. give me the 80s Islanders lineup.
80s?
The 80s, yeah. It's one of the greatest hockey teams ever. They won 4 Stanley Cups in a row. I'm drawing a blank on the entire team.
But yes, I did have a play for you guys last week. I did say take the Thunder -7, 7.5. It varied, but either way, they won by 13. Easy win. Yeah, you're welcome, by the way.
At least you were allowed to have a play.
I was allowed to have a play.
I wasn't allowed.
I didn't try to step on toes. I didn't step on toes. If I came
cut me
out
off and I still won. I still did good.
If I came out today and said, you know what, guys, I'm really feeling the Blues and the Maple Leafs this week, I'm sure my mic would be unplugged in a second. But I do have a play for tomorrow night. I'm so glad they finally play on a Tuesday. So there's a line that I can give to you. Take the Clemson Tigers. -1 at home against NC State. You're welcome again.
The college guru. I'm going to give you the college guru. I want to see how good you're doing in the fours. In the NCAA, the 64. When's that start? Next week? 2 weeks?
No, the conference tournament starts soon. It gets pushed back later and later now. But
now it's April. It's not March Madness anymore.
About mid-month, the actual tournament will start.
April craziness, whatever. Yeah. Well,
there's nothing better, by the way. I don't know if we did this before, with just the best days in sports. But that Thursday, opening Thursday of the tournament is just. So it's like Christmas morning for an adult.
It takes the air out of everybody in their brackets and all that stuff.
Yeah, of course.
The ladies, all the ladies step up and they win. And the guys who think they know stuff are all out of it by then.
All the smart guys picking, the big, the hot, trendy upsets, and the girls are just like, ooh, they're the Dolphins. I picked them. Like,
I learned. I just dropped the pen on it. I learned. I know. Just hit them down. There's the trendy team that you're going to be on Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to ride. They're going to ride the teams to the top. Florida.
It's one of those. It's like, especially this year. It's hard to. Like everyone's Final Four is gonna look similar. You're all gonna have Kentucky. You're all probably gonna have Duke. And
it's funny because like the last time I paid any kind of attention to that is like I think it was when Gorgonzola won or something, or got to like the Final Four.
Gorgonzola.
Gonzaga or something like
Gonzaga.
that. Gonzaga.
You don't need to be a sports fan. It's a college. Come on.
It's a cheese to
it's
me.
Like that
Gorgonzola.
That freaking good cheese. That's all I have to say.
Villanova, whatever that team is. I don't know what they're called.
Villanova.
Oh, Villanova. Sorry. I'm not a big sports fan. Sorry.
It's for monkey cheese.
That's what makes sense. Villa means house.
Gorgonzola.
House in the sky, right? Villanova.
Villanova. They're relevant this year a little bit. Huh? They got a team. They're gonna make noise. A little bit of noise at least.
You'll see a lot of the homers have them in the Final Four.
Yeah. They're not going too far, that's for sure. Not with this crew.
One round.
Yeah, they'll go 2 rounds. They do their thing. They coach their way through 2 rounds mainly. That's what they do. But the NCAA is it's fun. Maybe we'll do something. Maybe we'll put something together and have a little contest.
Who can beat the wall?
Who can beat the wall? Yeah, me and B. Well, I only follow college basketball with that. I really don't have any. I don't know college ball. I just don't.
That's something that's tough to keep up on because, like I said, if you're a professional sports fan, you know so and so is going to be good for 10 years, 15 years. You know the players.
Right.
Basketball, especially college basketball now, it's just freshmen in and out, freshmen in and out, freshmen in and out. So it's like you don't know who's even on where. Like, I mean, Kentucky is a legendarily good team, but the average person probably could have named 3 players. Like the average common fan. Of course, the diehard fans are going to give you their top 12 in the rotation, but I mean, so if you're not a diehard or you're not an average college sports fan, you're not going to know.
I think it's just an excuse. You know why? And maybe I never got into it because I didn't go to college, so to speak. But you have a lot of people that their loyalty, they want to speak. You know what? If my kid doesn't like sit there and support her college team and think that's the best sports team in the world after you drop like $150,000 from to go there, there's a freaking problem. You better be a Penn State fan or a Temple fan and all that crap. I paid for it. You better be a fan of it.
Ain't that true, man? You know, most part.
Hell, I'll wear the hat. Give it to me.
Got a little, speaking of some basketball here, I was reading.
Speaking of making money.
Yeah. Remember the Jordan rule? The NBA had changed the rules for Michael Jordan. They called it the Jordan rule. Well, now Jordan rules. Okay. He's now part of the Billionaires Boys Club. Okay. I mean, he's the rookie. Now he's the rookie of the year in the billionaires list. Okay. I mean, he's arguably, he's the greatest ball player. You know, take Chamberlain out. And
there's no arguably anymore.
Yeah, he's you can't put take Wilt out of the equation. You have to. There's a different kind of time, different kind of player. Right now, Jordan's the best player, the greatest player. I mean, maybe one of the greatest athletes ever. You know, in sports itself, because when it comes to basketball, you pretty much got to be an athlete all the way around. Every part of your body gets used. You know, constantly, every game. There's no rest for any part of your body in basketball. And your knees take a beating, and that's what kills all athletes is their knees, you know, bar none. But what he's been paid over this period of time since he entered the NBA and was the face of Nike, there's where his money came. Now he's now making a ton of money on that, and he's still the face of Nike, even though he's been retired, 10 years now?
He's got his own thing now. I mean,
I know. He's got the Charlotte Hornets.
No, but I mean, like, just
he's
the
got
Jordan
his own underwear
brand.
or something.
Yeah,
I see this guy dunking on a pair of tiny whiteies.
No, but I'm saying that the money maker here has been Nike. That's what made
the money maker is now it's the Jordan brand.
Right.
He's his own brand.
Right.
He has nothing. I mean, I don't think it has nothing to do with Nike, but it's not. He's not making money off Nike. He's making money off the Jordan brand, and that's where he made all of his money. Looking at his,
he earned $2.2 billion in 2013.
2.2 billion.
2.2 billion. That's what's his estimated 2.2 billion earnings in his airness, and some 90 million. It says $90 million in endorsements. But his most valuable thing is the Charlotte Hornets.
Really?
That's the most valuable thing right now. It's worth more than $500 million. How would that's what the Charlotte Hornets are worth? I mean, that's what you're saying.
I mean, owning a franchise is
$500 million for the whole Charlotte. This is basketball.
I'm not saying he makes more money off them, but they're worth a lot of money.
Yeah, well, if he's part of
a sports franchise is worth a lot of money. They're not making him probably more than $10 million a year, probably.
But that goes in his worth. You own the
of course.
Yeah. Well, you know,
it's because your house goes into your worth.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying I'm not baiting it. I'm telling you what it is. It's part of his $1 billion.
Well, it helps when you make $5 sneakers and you sell them for $400. I mean, and these kids they sleep outside around the block for 2 weeks to get them. Like,
he's been that rich for so long, and that kind of money it's. What do you do? I mean, it's like, you
buy a basketball team, obviously.
You gamble. You gamble a lot.
You can't even gamble. You can't. There's nothing to gamble.
Imagine how much it'd be worth if you didn't gamble ever.
Yeah, what's a gamble win for this guy?
Yeah,
it's a $1 million hand. Is that a gamble win?
That's not even like a thing for you. Like, if you do $1 million, like, I'd be like us losing like $10 at a table. Like, all right. Whatever.
Yeah, you got when's enough at that. I mean, to him, it's not even a matter of what it's in his pocket every day. It's more of it's almost like his gain now is how much can you make. Mm-hmm. It's almost like a sport to him now.
What can you have under your umbrella?
Right. It's his legacy now is going to be. I mean, it's like Magic Johnson. The basketball is way in the past to him. what he's doing now with his other
He's doing
things.
the same thing. Yeah, he owns part of the Lakers.
And the Magic is the name. Yeah, it's the same thing. There's not too many other athletes who have parlayed like the two of them have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the AIDS helped Magic, become a national,
not too often
international
say the word AIDS helped you.
Well, you know what it did? It made him an international figure, and not just a basketball. Not that he wasn't international as far as basketball, but to people outside of the sporting world, the AIDS, the HIV virus, made him sort of like a historical icon. If you want to know the truth, that's it. I mean, if you look at Magic, you look at him. He kind of saved a lot of people's lives, because when he got the AIDS virus, it opened up a lot of people in the inner city. They said, wow, if this guy can get it, then anybody can get it. So now they all started, everybody, poor, rich, doesn't matter. Anybody who needed an icon to follow, to show what to do, he did it. So he's more, forget about sports, is what he did. He's almost like he's a one-man birth control, if you think about it. He's a condom sales representative, any way you look at it, because, he scared the shit out of me.
And also, more importantly, he pretty much had the money to say, do what you got to do.
Let me put it this way:
money-wise, he could said, "I don't care what you pump into me, what kind of drugs or what kind of whatever procedures. Here's $1 million paycheck. Figure it the frick out."
Yeah,
but it's also in the same sense. It's not. It's like the exact opposite. It's him. You can go to the kids everywhere and say, "Look, it doesn't matter how much money you have. You can. This is still realistic. Yeah. You can still get AIDS. Right. I'm worth X amount. I'm worth so much." I still have it. Well,
here's the thing. Rock Hudson had it before him, and he was a great movie star, right? But that didn't make everybody panic.
You know why? And not this and not that, because he was pretty much the pretty much heterosexual superstar to get it. The heterosexual star.
But he wasn't really. He really was homosexual.
Rock Hudson was. Yeah, he was gay. He was gay.
Talking about Magic.
Yeah, I'm talking about Magic. The reason why Magic got so much attention, even Arthur Ashe supposedly got it through surgery, heart surgery, or something like that. Yeah,
that kind
I'm not sure. I don't quote me on that, but these guys got it. That
complaining.
Up until that point, everybody in America, that was a gay disease.
It's a gay disease,
right?
And that's what you thought, and that's what you were taught, because nobody knew any better, and nobody cared, because they thought it was just going to fizzle away.
Some people say Magic never had AIDS, never had HIV. This is a whole ploy. HIV. This is a whole ploy. This is the governmental thing. You read a lot of conspiracy stuff. I read stories about.
Of course, there's conspiracies.
Magic became. They gave him the soapbox to to help with the AIDS virus that's going around in this country. Stop it, and they needed something to stop it like that. Not just education, but something to scare the crap out of everybody. And in the inner cities is where it was becoming big, because no one was protecting themselves. They didn't know. It was that was going on. And if you look at him health-wise, and everybody I ever saw had the HIV on TV or interviewed or stuff, no one looks as good as Magic.
I thought you were supposed to wilt away.
Yeah, he got bigger, better, stronger. It looks like he's if you dropped down here from Mars and dropped on and said, Magic had HIV. No, he didn't. That's not the guy.
See, the difference is he had HIV. He didn't, but a lot of people can go through their life with preventative medicine and never develop AIDS. HIV and AIDS are two different things.
Right. So he might have never been in trouble. But it just so happens that somebody in his popularity, so his superstarism, has it. So they used it. I mean, they used it. Whoever it was, whether it's the pharmaceutical companies, whatever. You look at it. Maybe it wasn't supposed to be that way, but it is. It's a money-making thing. So pharmaceuticals went berserk on this stuff. They got somebody out there now who now they got to start developing stuff, because now it's going to be
the Ebola. The one nurse that survived it. They're have her blood now, and they're using their plasma from her blood, hopefully to make antibodies for Ebola.
First of all, I think Ebola was blown out of proportion. They had the whole country in a panic for this thing.
Well, that's not because 3 people got it.
Yeah, 3 people.
3 people in the United States, but you're talking
that's not even say. Well,
more people died of lightning strikes than did of Ebola.
Yeah, this is we're talking about.
Kim Kardashian's had more weddings than the people that died from Ebola.
Here's the thing with HIV: everybody knew somebody who had it. Who we did. I mean, we did it in my we knew people. So, because by the time you were up in that, it was already being fought. Back when I was in the 80s, 79, 80, 81.
That was just the thing?
It was the start of it. It was the start of all that stuff, We were nuts in the 70s as youngsters, man. We got cut off at the neck there back when we were just before the 30s, And then we had all of a sudden was, in the backseat of the car to the nightclub. Now no more of that, spray down and put plastic on.
I don't need to hear about your 60s and 70s trysts.
It's not. I don't go back to the 60s. I was born in '63, so I'm talking about late '70s, into the early '80s when and then when the tragic was what 91, 90, I think it was
91, yeah.
91, yeah. That's when that's when he ended his career with that stuff. But that's the whole thing on that stuff. That how do we get into magic? Oh, we could transcending about billionaires. The transcending from a basketball player into a billionaire.
I'll tell you who will be a billionaire by the time his life is over is LeBron.
Yeah, if he does it right, don't get in trouble.
He's doing it right.
Well, I guess he is.
He's more of an icon amongst younger people. Kobe may be a better player, some people say, but Kobe's never been that face.
But there's a dislike for LeBron though out there. A lot of guys my age,
our age,
your age isn't buying the shoes anyway.
We own the shoes.
You're not buying.
We're not buying.
We're buying it for our kids, maybe, but that's about.
Yeah, but if your kid wants you, you're not like,
but
sorry, little Bobby, you're not getting. I don't like
understand
LeBron.
Something. The next one that comes out will take LeBron's shoes from him, just like LeBron took Kobe's shoes.
Kobe was never that guy though. Kobe's shoes were never a big seller ever. He was Adidas.
Kobe's problem was he had an attitude too when he came out of high school, and he got as a young age he had a problem with the woman that he had a problem with. I don't even know what happened with that. They got swept under the table or whatever.
He raped her.
He raped her. Whatever. Okay, he raped her. Who knows?
Let's call a spade a spade.
Who the hell knows what rape is anymore with this? Consent, not consent. I don't know. Whatever happened. He didn't get locked up for it.
Of course, it's Kobe. He didn't
do it. He didn't get locked up. He didn't do it. I don't know, whatever. That's not what I'm getting at here.
OJ didn't kill Nicole Simpson.
I didn't see him do it. You see him?
OJ?
I mean, the guy's riding around the car, and her boyfriend's riding around in the car. What did Chris Rock once? He's riding around in his car that he bought her. I know you should have done it, but I know why he thought about it. For the most part, I didn't see OJ do it. No one really saw OJ do anything. But we all assume he did. I guess, right?
He did it.
I didn't see him. You see him? Nobody saw him do it.
I will say no comment.
Okay, yeah, the comment is what it is.
Do you know something we don't know? Did you see it?
No,
I didn't see him do it.
I didn't see nothing.
And the evidence didn't show that he did it. Did it?
Yes, it did. It pretty clearly showed it.
But I thought he was found not guilty.
Who cares?
What do you see? The justice system doesn't work in this country?
Don't get me started on that.
Yeah. Anyway, so you think LeBron James is the next one coming up the wing from that? I don't see another. Usually there's a player in college or even in high school that we're all talking about. Right now, that player doesn't exist.
In any sport now, too. Think about it.
I don't see anybody.
Maybe later on we'll talk about it, but this is probably the best crop of NHL players that we've seen in 8 years.
Yeah, but there's not a player that you would call the next one coming up.
No, not the next one, and we're still not talking about it because there's a lot of good ones.
Well, the NHL, being NHL, there's always the hype of the next one, and it never comes out.
But no, we haven't had anybody like that since Crosby.
Well,
since Crosby, and now you got to figure that's 7-8 years at least.
No, Ovechkin was after Crosby, right?
Oh, a year
after the year after, but that was a strike year, so they were both rookies at the same time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, Ovechkin quietly is playing good offense, but I can't stand the way he plays hockey. He plays hockey all for himself. It's ridiculous to watch this guy anymore. After he takes a shot, he stands there. He never goes after his own rebound unless it comes right back out to him.
Because 50 times a year it goes in. He doesn't have to chase.
Yeah, well, the problem is that Washington doesn't win shit with him. That's the thing. Once again, you can be the best player on the ice, but if your team's not winning, what good are you? That's the way I see sports. My own. But yeah, Michael Jordan's a billionaire. I thought he was a billionaire already, man. I didn't think he had anywhere to go with it. No, but as far as athletes themselves, I see Jordan like that and Magic Johnson, and I really don't see anybody else who came out of the last 20 years of sports carrying that kind of weight when it comes to the commercial world. Those two did it. And I think Jordan way more than Magic now. I mean, I don't know what Magic owns or does. I know he's in the movie business.
Dodgers.
Oh, he owns he's a piece of Dodgers. So, well, both guys now own sports teams. Mm-hmm. And it's funny, Magic, he's a basketball player, owns a baseball team. Jordan played baseball and owns a basketball team. Did Jordan ever play in the majors?
He played he made AA.
AA, right.
White Sox.
Yeah, right. He couldn't swing. He had a golfer swing for a baseball. Most part.
Pretty good golfer, though.
Yeah. Actually, LeBron's getting himself in some trouble here. It looks like he was in a little bit of a brawl. Was James? What's his name?
He had a pair of dust-ups with Harden.
Yeah, James Harden. And, James Harden's a good ball player.
Very good.
Playing and could battle him for MVP this year.
LeBron's not in the conversation.
Yeah, what's wrong with him? He says, I mean,
he sat out 2 weeks, and once you sit out 2 weeks, you're pretty much taking yourself out of it.
I watched him the other day, and I watched him like the other day, I think it was yesterday. He missed 2 foul shots.
It was like 6.
Yeah, well, I watched him miss 2 foul. I've never seen him miss 2 foul shots yet. This is the first time I'm looking at him. Well, I mean, to me, I look at him, I say, he looks. You might disagree 100%. He looks disinterested. Is that just me seeing him? Even when he's playing down there, and when he drives to the hoop, it looks like it's get the fancy jam, and then he doesn't get back.
I think the NBA is turning into the NHL, and the fact that people just kind of put it in cruise control until you get to the playoffs,
right?
And then in mind to go, okay, I'll try then, because when over half the league's making it, you don't have to worry about
That's what I hate. The leagues, too many teams get in. Hockey's the worst at it. Too many teams. Baseball was the best back when we were kids. You either won a pennant, you were in. If you didn't win it, you weren't in. So if you won 101 game and somebody won 102, you're out.
Mm-hmm.
And in Major League Baseball didn't like that. They felt they were penalizing the team having a good year. But it was so good because you were there. That was it. You had to win that.
See, I think baseball has a right with the way they had. I don't like the extra one they just added. It's
a waste of time. Yeah. It's a waste. It's a 1 game waste of time.
It's a 1 game money and done. That's all it is.
It was 14.
Last time, you're right. I do like that. I like the previous system.
Yeah,
it's good. It was
division
fine.
winners, 1 wild card, boom, that's it.
I like it.
2 rounds and we're in.
But hockey is, and I would say that hockey is crazy, but we all know this is what it's been. It's been this way for 40 years. It's not like they just changed it. They haven't changed it. It's been this way for God knows how long. You've always had, 70% of the teams are going to get there, or 65.
They're our worst enemy the way they do it, though.
Yeah,
they kill themselves. I mean, with the play, they've already developed it into 2 seasons, and you don't want to do that because you watch hockey now, and it's like, okay. Your team's doing well now, but that doesn't mean anything to the end of March. This is hockey season started yesterday. That's it. It's March 1st. That's hockey season. You battle into April and you get yourself organized, and that's where you go with it.
Ovechkin was actually drafted 1 year before.
I knew it was one. I knew it was one.
Well, I thought it was one.
But they had to strike. He didn't play.
They both debuted the same year, though. I know that.
Yeah.
Crosby has what? 1 cup, 1 appearance, right? Detroit beat him, and he beat somebody. Or he beat Detroit.
He beat Detroit, and Detroit beat him. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah,
he lost to Chicago. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I don't remember what he did.
But I think he went back. I think he went back-to-back years.
No, Crosby. No, Pittsburgh didn't win back-to-back.
No, I think they went back-to-back.
Yeah, did they? I don't know.
I never
Pittsburgh winning one.
NHL.
Did he win the strike year?
They won a cup in 90.
No, that was Tampa.
2009.
Was it 2009? Yeah.
2009.
Right. Crosby hasn't been that great. I mean, he hasn't been. I wouldn't put him into the greats of the 70s and 80s and 90s type players. No. He hasn't taken this league over.
No, he's not. It's not like he's dominating with.
No, not at all. Not at all. He's just the best we have to put out there. I don't look at
hockey
now.
Stats, but is he the leading scorer every year? I'm pretty sure he's not.
No, he's probably in the top 5.
Yeah,
6 for points.
That just makes him a great player. It doesn't make him a.
But he's right. There's so many good players in the NHL that it's tough to take one out anymore. And when we were kids. I say kids. There was always the NHL. In the 70s, you had your Bobby Clark, 2-time MVP. You Richard over in Montreal, and you had the Esposito. You had Tony Esposito. You had the players that were up there every year. Your greats that were up there. And in the 80s, of course, Gretzky took over NHL along with Lemieux. Lemieux and Gretzky were like what they tried to make out of Ovechkin and Crosby, but it's just not happening because Lemieux and Gretzky.
Lemieux was 84. Yeah,
they were so much better than the rest of the league. And Lemieux was great. That showed you how incredible Gretzky was. When he was 1, Lemieux was always 2.
Mm-hmm.
When it came to Stanley Cups, nobody won more than Gretzky. Well, actually, Messier won more than Gretzky if you think about it. Messier won 6 Stanley Cups?
Yeah. 4?
No, he took 1 with the Rangers, too.
Oh, Messier.
Yeah,
I'm thinking Lemieux.
I mean, those Edmonton teams were
4 with Edmonton and 5, I think.
Yeah, 5 Edmonton teams were incredible hockey. I mean, they changed all of hockey. They made everything.
That's why it was
different.
such a big deal when the Flyers went up against them in the final.
They had 4 lines of stars playing hockey every night. That's what you had to go against when you went against Edmonton. But Gretzky was that player. He made the NHL. The NHL was battling through the late 70s because in the early 80s. Because the Flyers had beaten the league up into a thuggery. The Broad Street Bullies had beaten everybody into a pulp going into 1980, and then the Islanders stepped up. I think Montreal took it through 70, 76. Actually, Montreal won 4 up to 1976, 77, 78, 79, and then The Islanders won, and they won 4 in a row. So 2 teams took 8 years of hockey into a different division.
If you look back, it's probably like 3 teams over 15, 20 years took
Montreal
12 cups.
Yeah. Montreal and Boston and when the Islanders just came out of nowhere, they were expansion team in the 70s, built it up nice, and took that. We can think of that freaking guy's name, I can't. Get that lineup there. Get that 80s lineup for the Islanders. I know that whole team. Bobby Nystrom. That's who it is. Right? Nystrom was he had the offside goal against the Flyers.
Yeah, that begins with an S. That's why I would have remembered that.
Whatever. There's somebody else in there. Nystrom had the overtime goal. Plus he had the goal. Then he had the goal with the Flyers where it was offsides and the Flyers goal, he pulled up and he shot the goal and scored. That ended the game.
I think
Stanley Cup.
Somewhat.
That was the year back in 1980. The Flyers went to the Stanley Cup again, which is not we don't really talk about that. But the Flyers, when they were 70, they 72, 73, 73, 74, 75 was when they lost to Montreal. Then they went back in 1980 when they redid the league. So the Islanders, in the same division as the Flyers, they faced each other in the Stanley Cup because it was all around robin play.
I've got 1980,
it right here. Right. That's a quiet Flyers team because
that's funny. It just the highlight is Nystrom.
Bobby Nystrom, right? His overtime goal,
There it is.
And that was the team. That was the end. That was the
Bossy.
Yeah, Bossy, right. You can just
Merrick.
Yeah, go right down the list. Just start the name. There's like 7 Hall of Famers on that team.
I'm just looking. If you go to 74, 75, you got Flyers twice, then Canadians 4 times in a row, then the Islanders 4 times in a row, Edmonton twice, Canadians again, then Edmonton twice again, then Calgary, then Edmonton.
Right. In the 70s in sports, because of the way, and this just goes back to money. If you look at the leagues, no free agency. So in basketball, you had runs of teams, small runs, Celtic runs, Laker runs, stuff like that. In the NFL was, the Cowboys, Steelers 4. You were able to run like that. Same thing in hockey. When you build a hockey team, you won 2 to 3 in a row. That's how you won your titles. It's never one and done. Very rare in the NHL. Basketball, same way. Baseball, same way. In the 70s, you had the A's ran 3. Who was after the Yankees ran a couple? You know what I mean? You had those runs until the free agent kicked in. Who's the teams that run in the 70s? I know the A's won 3 in a row. Reds, a couple of teams. Who else won 3 in a row in the year?
The Nasty Boys, right? The Reds?
Nasty. Well, that's 90s, man.
Is it really that late?
Before your time, Pete. So that's my point on that. What was my point anyway? I don't know what my point was. What are we talking about? I'm confused.
I never know half your points.
You know what? It's this short-term memory here. I better take a break.
Dennis Potvin was on.
Potvin, there it is. He was the main guy. He had Dennis and his brother. There was another Potvin on that team, wasn't there? Jock Potvin or something.
You had Bossy, Trottier, Tonelli.
Tonelli. You can just go down the line. Yeah, you just go down right down the line. Suitors. There was
Wayne
2 Suitors.
Suitors.
Right.
Brent
Sutter. Yeah, the Suitors, the Sutters, the Sitters. Right. Who's the goalie in that team? Billy Smith?
Yeah, Billy Smith.
Yeah, right. That's right. I'm remembering this shit. You believe that?
And Roland, I guess Roland's Melanis.
Forget about him. He never played. Yeah, Rollinson. Yeah, he actually started.
Ken Morrow from
Ken Morrow's from the 80s team. Yep.
From the Olympics.
The Olympic teams, yep.
I knew there was somebody on there from the.
Nothing really engages me more than 1980s Islanders talk. I just want to throw that out there.
I'm Cassidy King. I got my chef to left, Brendan B. This is Sports Goombahs. We're live at the 5-1 studios. Bucks County, PA, frozen Bucks County, PA. Give us a call, 267-563-2893. Sports Goombahs Hotline. Give us a call. We'll be back in a minute. Cassidy King from Sports Goombahs. Listen, shop 344tees.com for your favorite men's, women's, and kids apparel. T-shirts, hoodies, sweats, and more. With every name brand available. My man, Larry Gilman, will take care of all your printing and embroidery needs. For business, sports, organizations, or maybe you're just opening up a pizzeria. 344tees.com will get it done. Call now, 844-542-2774. That's 844-542-2774. Their customer apparel marketing team are available not just to only give you the product you need, but give you the support and custom service that best matches your goal and budgets. Call 844-542-2774. That's 344tees.com.
BZI Group Inc. for your individual and small group health insurance needs. BZI offers free instant online insurance quotes and applications from major health insurance carriers. The BZI Group is dedicated to a no-nonsense approach to health insurance. They focus on giving you the insurance you need in a timely and cooperative manner. Whether you're looking for individual and family, group, seniors, life, or long-term coverage, BZI can help. For additional information or to speak with an insurance expert, call 1-800-431-4834 or email them at www.bzigroup.com.
Stop paying your bookie each week and start collecting. They have the best handicappers in the world, all in one place. And their only job is to win you money. Check Jeff Brandes and all the experts at trendbetting.com. Trend betting theory is simple. Trends dominate in sports, and you will win in the long run by following the dominant trend. You will lose in the long run if you buck the dominant trend. Simple enough. That's trendbetting.com.
When you need a good roof over your head, call Seal Roofing. They've been keeping folks warm and dry for many years now and are proud of their work. Seal Roofing and Contracting does it all, whether you need simple repairs before the next big rainy season or a whole new roof. Maybe you need new siding or windows. You can be certain that when you hire Seal Roofing, you're hiring the best. Available 7 days a week with 24-hour emergency service and free estimates. Call 215-533-4066. That's 215-533-4066 or visit sealroofing.net.
Has your home or business been damaged by a recent storm and you're left to deal with the insurance company to make things right? Turn to Apple Public Adjusters and meet owners Patrick O'Donnell and Mark Stendardo. If you've suffered recent storm damage to your home or business, call 267-538-3373. That's 267-538-3373 and protect your rights and maximize your benefits.
Sports Goombahs webcast. Coming out to you from the 515 studios, Bucks County, PA, all over the world. China, Vietnam, South America, Brazil. We're all listening to us tonight. We're ranting and beefing here. 267-563-2893. Got 35 minutes of ranting and beefing sports and anything else. I'm going to talk a little movies here. We're thinking, we were going through some flicks, some of the less known sports flicks that we've watched over the years, or the ones that got away. Good ones that you don't know about that someone tells you to watch. The ones that lasted in the movies for what? A day? Or two?
Or some that didn't even go to the movies.
Right. And they can write the D. Well, back then, some of mine go back to cassette. Yeah, it's on cassette.
or worse yet, beta.
Beta, yeah, it's a beta. Now it's not even on anything. It's in the air. It's in a cloud. Movie they make it in the theaters is now on your nearby cloud.
And sometimes if you pay an extra $5, you don't even have to go to the movies. You can get it on early release on your TV.
Yep. Movies ain't what it used to be. Yeah. Sports Goombahs. Give us a call. 267-563-2893. Let us know what your obscure sports movie was. Something that no one knows about. One of those ones that are in the dust.
Well, we probably know about it. It's just probably doesn't get a lot of talk.
Yeah, we're not get a lot of talk. Yeah.
We're not talking the Any Given Sundays or the Bull Durhams or Rudy. Give us something that we have to remember. Oh yeah, that's right. Let me pull one out of that. What do you got?
While I'm here, I got a movie that got to be a little bit in the racehorse business. You got to be in the ponies.
Oh, I got a horse one too.
It's called Let It Ride. Richard Dreyfuss. I think it was a late 80s movie made, you know. It's about the guy who got stuck at the track all day long, burning his money. Richard Dreyfuss, Terry Garr. Terry Garr, what else was she in? She was in a lot of Mr. Mom. She was in a lot of 1980s funny wide movies.
Was she in Gung Ho too?
Had the beautiful Jennifer Tilly. No, that was her star.
Jennifer Tilly.
She had that voice. Big voluptuous boobs. She was nice, man. She had that voice, man.
Am I thinking the wrong one? Which one was the Chucky doll's girlfriend? Was that
was her?
Was it Jen or
that was
Meg?
Tilly.
Yeah.
Was it Jennifer Tilly or Meg Tilly?
I don't know who Meg Tilly is.
There's no Meg Tilly. No.
I thought there was.
There's Jennifer.
I think you're making up your own Tillys now.
Yeah, don't be. Yeah, look. Can I get through my thing here?
Go ahead.
David Johansen, the musician David Johansen, had a great role in this movie. Richard Dreyfuss was a better looking for his big payday. You know, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Great movie. Rent it. It's called Let It Ride. Okay, so Meg Tilly. It's not even the same Tilly division, man. We're not even talking about that Tilly. Not to show me Meg Tilly. I'm talking about Jennifer Tilly here. Okay, the big tits and that squeaky voice. Anyway, Let It Ride. Great flick. Get it on your Redbox or whatever you people are getting your videos on now. I have it on cassette. I'm sure I can't watch it now. It's like holding up to a light and let it scroll through whatever. That's my number one hidden. I tell people about that movie and they go and they watch it. Yeah, that was funny flick.
There is no
good
stuff.
stuff.
It's a funny movie?
It's a funny movie. Yeah, it's a funny movie, but it's got its
Is it older?
80s.
Is it? Yeah.
It's a late 80s movie.
Ugh.
Yeah, before your time, I think, right?
Yeah.
When were you born?
87.
Well, yeah, it's about when it came out, 1987. Yeah. So.
Before my time. My first movie combines two of my passions. Back when I was around the time this came out. Football, gambling, Two for the Money, Al Pacino and Matthew McConaughey. You ever see that?
Yeah.
You had to have seen it. You had to have seen that. That was a great movie to me.
Wrote that flick, man.
I figured. That's what, with the way I said it, you're like, Two for the Money, huh?
Brandon Lang, man.
Yeah, Brandon Lang. John Anthony.
Brandon Lang. Well,
I need my own.
They busted him after a while. They got a hold of his bullshit. You know,
he just started throwing darts at the dartboard.
Not even that. He was giving one side out, one side the other. He got thrown off his own website back about 5 years ago.
So you saying a real person?
What, Brandon Lang?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's was based on a real person.
I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's one of those big. He was one of those talking handicappers who get out there screaming at you. He used to have a video. He's probably still on somewhere anywhere out there. Two for the Money is not a hidden movie. It was out there. It was
out there, but not when you think of like what's your favorite sports movie.
Yeah. Doesn't get played.
It's not going to be. It's not going to be anybody's top 5 list.
I'll tell you what. Two for the Money does get played. It gets played on Max. It's all the time. It's between The Godfather and Two for the Money.
No, I mean it doesn't get. When I say play, it doesn't get like.
Yeah, like I said, if I say, "Hey, Brendan, what's your top 10 movies?" That's not going to be in your top. Yeah, it's not going to be there.
Listen, it wasn't Matthew McConaughey's best day either, and it wasn't Pacino's best day. In fact, the movie acting in the movie was awful.
Yeah, Rene Russo, Jeremy Piven was even in there.
It was so. Piven played Piven. That's it. Yeah. He plays. It's the same as he's in the Entourage.
Yeah, same character.
That's all he ever plays is that character. You know, but I thought it was okay movie. You know, it's a watchable movie because it's got that football thing going. I thought the acting was kind of weak for the type of actors that were in it.
Yeah, but this isn't 2013, 14 McConaughey. This is back when it was the dude Matthew McConaughey, where he just like
that was back when he didn't do it for the big cool.
Yeah, and that was his first. That was his first hit with Pacino and a star cast. You know, B, you got one.
Oh, easy peasy lemon squeezy. That would have to be greatest game ever played.
Was that
the little kid?
Is that a line?
Yeah, it's a line from the movie. The greatest game ever played. Shia LaBeouf.
I know
the golf movie. It's about the amateur, the last time American amateur.
I know Shia LaBeouf. I don't know the movie.
I think awesome. I saw it for 2 minutes and turned it off.
Great. It's great because it's a true story.
Who's in it?
Shia LaBeouf. The guy that plays. I can't think of his name. Stannis Baratheon on Game of Thrones. Now I don't know the actor's name. There's a lot of actors you would recognize in it, but not their level 2 tier.
Bill Paxton.
Yeah, Bill Paxton's in it too. Yeah, that's right.
You were right though when you talk about obscure movies. I never heard of that one.
It's a good movie. It's about the amateur. Bob can't think of his name, but he ends up winning.
It's based on the early days of golf champion Francis Ouimet.
Ormont. Yeah. So it's a very good movie. I recommend it. It's a fun little golf movie.
Okay. Well, the movie that I have here is a hidden movie. I mean, you mentioned it to some people. Some people watch, some people don't, but it didn't get much play at all. In fact, I never saw it. I heard it even in the movie theaters. It's Bagger Vance, a golf movie.
Speaking of golf movies,
there's not.
That definitely was in theaters. I mean, we have Will Smith and
yeah, but it wasn't one of those. Yeah, it wasn't one of their. No,
it's probably one of Will Smith's less known movies.
Yeah, and he was actually pretty good. It had a whole lot of lines in there. I mean, it's narrated, so they're always different. Those type of movies. Had good actors in it, but Will Smith, Matt Damon, Charlize Theron, which it was a good movie, good golf movie. There's not a whole lot of golf movies out there.
Matt Damon in it, right?
Yeah, it was
directed by Robert Redford.
Right. It was a typical Robert Redford. It had that type of Robert Redford scene,
and it only lost $21 million.
Yeah, that's a win, man. That's a win. They use car lights.
Well, that's because all the what do you call it? All the salaries in there. You got a whole bunch of
golf was a tough sell.
So it was a watchable movie for the most part.
If you're gonna do a serious golf movie, it's a tough sell to the main audience. You can put out Happy Gilmore for laughs, and it'll sell 100 million. But when you have these, I don't know if your movie is
it's
serious.
It's a serious. So it's a true story.
So the more serious movies are not going to be as easy to sell. That's why you're going to lose $21 million.
Bagger Vance was a true story. And it's there's some truism to it. I mean, it was about two golfers. I can't remember.
Storyline goes as this: a disillusioned war veteran, Captain Randolph Jonah reluctantly agrees to play a game of golf. He finds the game futile until his caddy, Bagger Vance, teaches him the secret of the authentic golf.
Give me to the stars. We don't need to narrate the story.
I'm giving you the synopsis.
Who were the two golfers? It was the legendary golfer.
The guy is obviously Will Smith is Bagger Vance.
Say the name of the golfer, man.
I'm telling you,
Randolph. No, not that guy. Is the star. The two.
Bobby Jones and
Walter Hagen. Yeah, Walter Hagen. The two Walter Hagens. That club's name.
Spit it out, Brandon.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I don't know. I didn't know anything about the movie.
I was kidding. I didn't know either. I had to Google it. I had no idea. My second movie. We talked about a movie that actually didn't even make theaters. But I think it was made just for HBO. 61. Billy Crystal.
I like
directed.
that. I like that movie. That was
very good movie.
That was the home run. Roger Maris. Very good movie. And if you look at that movie, there's some good actors in it.
Yeah.
I mean, what's his name?
Billy Jane, Barry Pepper.
Pepper's a good actor. He does, a lot of war movies, but he's good at
Anthony Michael Hall.
Yep. He was in that. Who was the other guy? Was he in the Fast and the Furious too?
It's funny because the guy who played Walter Hagen, Bruce McGill, in your movie was in 61.
Yeah,
right. He was the
coach, right? Yeah.
You had Shooter McGavin. Speaking of golf movies, was in that as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, I thought that was, and it's
McGavin. Wasn't he in Gilmore?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Gilmore, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm saying it's such like a not me typical movie. It's set for older times and stuff, which usually isn't my thing.
But the cinematography is very good.
Oh, it was great.
You see the flashbacks to the old Yankee Stadium with the, I guess only lack of a better word, the tombstones in center field.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good. I really liked that one as well. And plus, the surrounding cast were, like I said, second tier actors who you recognize and go, "Oh my gosh, he's playing."
The one guy was
Yogi Berra.
The one dude who played Roger Maris in that one. He got that. Was in that HBO show Hung.
No, that was the other one.
No, that was the one who played
Mickey Mantle was.
Oh, Mickey Mantle.
Yeah.
Thomas
Jane. Yeah,
he played Hung.
He was also.
That was a great series.
He was also in HBO's. Well, he must have a contract with HBO because he was. He played Mark Anthony in the Rome series too. I think Thomas Jane.
I don't know what the Rome series is.
The Rome on HBO was an HBO series on Rome.
Rome.
It was
the city.
Oh, it was about the history, but it was done like kind of like the close to borderline graphic.
I never saw it. I don't know.
What's your next movie, man?
I'd take your word for it.
My next movie? Okay. It's a horse movie, but I don't know if this breaks a thing. Hidalgo. You said you told me to find obscure ones. Hidalgo, about the horse, the American. When they used to do the horse races, you can Google it. Go ahead, find it on IMDb. Go ahead.
I'm fine.
No, find it. It's about horse racing. They used to America would get picked on for their horses because the wild Mustangs and all that wasn't like the Arabian Nights. So when they would run these horses like your secretary and all that, they were all bigger bloodlines. This guy ran his horse in open desert race. I don't know what the name of the race was, but he ran it with a horse, an American horse, a Mustang.
I remember seeing the name of the movie.
Viggo Mortensen in it.
Viggo Mortensen,
yeah, I know that was just on HBO. I saw the name. Right?
You sit there and go. It talks about a movie.
You know who else is in that? J.K. Simmons.
Yeah,
the guy he just won an Oscar. Yeah. It's a different movie, but it's horse racing.
I heard of it in hindsight. If you just said Hidalgo to me, I would have no idea what you're talking about. I'm looking at the poster now, and I'm like, okay, I do vaguely remember this existing.
Yeah.
But you said it. That's under the radar.
Exactly. You guys, you said under the radar, and then when I give you a movie that's definitely under the radar, you look at me like I had 3 freaking
Your movies
heads.
so far have been 2 about horse racing, I think, and 1 about
one
golf.
horse racing.
Okay.
1 horse racing, 1 golf.
All right, that's right.
All right, my next movie is a good one, which I think people might have seen. I just thought it was a good movie. It was underrated. A cast of athletes and good Hollywood actors was Blue Chip. It was a fast movie in the theaters. It came out, it was more for TV, and when it got on HBO and all those, it was played a lot. It was put up there a lot. It's still on all the time. If you put it on a Sunday morning, you can find it on TBS. You can find it on HBO or Showtime. Blue Chip with Nick Nolte, Shaq, Ed O'Neill. From Penny Hardaway was in that. It was Penny Hardaway's biggest time and biggest moment in between sports and movies himself. Mary McDonald, if you know who she is, she's a character actor in a lot of movies. Blue Chip was Blue Chip was a good story about how college teams, Nick Nolte and the boosters of a college team kind of like bought their players quietly by buying them gifts. The Alumni Association bought gifts for everybody. That's how the colleges got their players. And now you see all those teams getting in trouble for that kind of stuff, and that's exactly what happened at the end of this movie. But it was about coaching, and it was about stealing players, and that kind of thing. It was informative. Not only was it just a movie, but if you didn't know much about what goes on in college basketball, this movie informed you, and the acting was good, and it was, some sad parts and some good parts, And Nick Nolte was pretty good at it.
Before I get to my actual number 1, because I don't know if you guys are going to accept mine or not, but there's a couple movies I wanted to see if you guys have seen.
Honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions.
I have one honorable
Celtic
mention.
Pride.
Well.
Did you see that?
With Daniel Stern?
Yeah, Daniel Stern.
Don't they kidnap somebody?
And Damon Wayans. And
I did not see it, but
I enjoyed that. And that's in the movie.
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, Miami Dolphins.
No, not that. And also Love and Basketball. Did you ever see that movie?
No, I did not. Never even heard of it.
It's like Omar Epps. It's like a romantic.
Yes, I saw that with the girl. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
But I thought the story was a good story. It all came full circle and all that. That's not my number 1. My number 1 is Rounders. Is poker a sport?
No.
No?
You have to be an athlete to play poker.
Yeah, you don't have to be an athlete to play any sport, really.
Yep.
Look at John Kruk. We established that at the beginning of the show.
Oh my God.
David Wells is an athlete.
Let me tell you something. If you're a bridge, if a poker player is an athlete in a sport, then bridge is a sport. Okay, so is mahjong. Okay, and
I don't know what that is.
Mahjong's a game played by women. It's a Chinese game.
So now you're saying women can't be athletes?
I'm just saying. No, they can. They are. If what you're saying is true, then they are athletes. Everybody who plays a game is an athlete because putting cards in your hand and flipping them back and forth and looking to see who wins. There's no talent involved in that.
If it's covered on SportsCenter and it's on ESPN, how is it not?
ESPN covers
just like golf.
ESPN covers
game, exactly. Like golf.
Game, just like golf. I wouldn't call it a sport.
It's a game. That's what it is. It's a game. It's
golf. So is golf. They put table
many
tennis.
times on this show called golf a game, and you don't even include soccer and anything.
Yeah.
So give him his freaking poker just for the sake of the argument.
Give me it.
He gave you 2 honorable mentions.
That's a great movie.
It's a great movie. It's one of my favorites.
Great movie.
It's on my
list. God, it's so good.
It's on my top 10. Go on my Facebook page. It's right there. You know who I like in that play? Who do I like in that thing? Paid this man his money. That's the greatest line in the movie.
Got my Oreos.
Yeah, that's right. No, he beat me fair and square. Paid this man his money.
John Malkovich.
Yes. Great role he played in. There's a lot of good stars in that movie. Full of them. Great movie. A hidden movie. I never saw that in the theater.
No, I
never heard of it in the theater. Somebody turned me on to it.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, Actually, it was one of those movies.
I think that movie was it was too early. It was before the poker boom.
Like way before. You
put that movie out 5 years later, it would have made $200 million.
Well, it was back when Johnny Chan won that, and that was way before poker made it to ESPN.
Yeah.
For that part. Great flick. B?
Now, I'm going to say Mystery Alaska.
That's it.
Is that what is that?
What do you mean?
Is it the dog sled movie?
No, it's a hockey movie. It's a hockey movie.
Oh, is it? I know I've heard of it.
You've heard of it. It's only got Russell Crowe, Hank Azaria, Burt Reynolds, Cole Meany, Lolita Davidovich.
I don't know that 3 of those names. Is it a comedy?
Yeah, yeah, probably.
I know I've heard of it. Now I'm looking at it.
It's about
more of a bell.
It's about this team of hockey players. They play pond hockey in Alaska. And Mystery Alaska. You don't remember Mystery Alaska?
Pond hockey is a lawyer in this area.
Yeah. Pond Lee hockey. So, but
how do we know that?
As a publicity stunt, they bring the New York Rangers up to play this, or kind of like the precursor to your what do you call it? The outdoor games,
Mm-hmm.
And because they did it, they put every week they play a Sunday game or something like that, and they pick the sticks, and that's who you play on.
They beat the Rangers?
No.
Oh.
That's the best
What's the point of the movie?
That's the best part about it.
You got to have the underdog, the mighty underdogs come out and beat the high-powered Rangers. What did it, shellacked? Like 9-0? What was the point of that?
Oh, just tell me.
Oh, I know.
Boy,
you didn't
bitter.
write.
He's a bitter young man.
I know you didn't write the movie. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying it's a good movie.
No, I didn't say it wasn't, but you gotta.
Where's our pizza, man? Did we order pizza? I was at the break.
No, they were very close at that point.
Tony King of Pizza and Ben Selm.
Yeah.
Ben Selm, don't want to bring us our pizza.
They did before, live in the middle of the show, and it was phenomenal. But
I could go for one of those.
We were about 15 minutes too late tonight.
Oh, man. Meat Lovers Pizza is the best. I've been craving that all week long. I called last week during the ice, and they wouldn't deliver it because it was too icy out. Imagine that, not delivering pizza.
Speaking as a former delivery guy, I wouldn't want to go out in that either.
Tony's King of Pizza. Check him out. 215-638-1090. Ben Selm's finest pie. Bar none.
Mm-hmm.
Just a Ben Selm. Is that it for the movies?
Yeah.
Well, I got an honorable mention.
We got something where we've all seen or have a chance to see it?
You know what? You got to be very specific on your things here. You say obscure movies.
1991 classic starring Danny DeVito.
Dude, I had Russell Crowe in it, for God's sake.
Russell Crowe. Before he was Russell Crowe.
And Burt Reynolds after he was Burt Reynolds. Burt Reynolds.
He's still alive?
Yes.
Yeah, he was on SNL 40 like 2 weeks ago. You didn't see him?
He was on it? I thought that was what you were doing him.
Come on.
It was 99. The movie was 99.
Burt Reynolds better than Burt Reynolds.
Actually, it wasn't Burt Reynolds. It was Turd Ferguson.
Turd Ferguson.
But my honorable mention, never mind. I'm not even going to tell you my honorable mention because you probably won't even
know that. I got to hear it. Tell me what it is.
Best of the best.
What's that?
It's what? Go ahead. You said
that's not with Robin Williams, is it?
No. That's the best.
1989. Come on.
No, 19.
Eric Roberts.
Chris Penn.
Oh, that's the martial arts one.
Yes,
I saw that one.
Yeah, where it's a U.S. Taekwondo team.
That was a tearjerker, man.
Where he fights with one with his shoulder all messed up. Hey,
I can't take Eric Roberts. I can't handle watching him.
Christopher Walken.
You can't watch him too often.
Oh, is that Christopher Walken talking about Eric Roberts acting?
Roberts like, that was bad. He grinds his teeth when he talks. Boy, he's a Pope of Greenwich Village. That was his claim to fame, man.
No, Star 80 was the movie that was supposed to make him a star. Yeah. Remember?
Yeah.
Where he plays his psycho boyfriend or something.
He killed
like
that girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's loosely based on a true story.
Yeah,
right?
It was. Yeah. That girl won. She was Miss. Penthouse magazine,
Playboy
something like that. Yeah, that's right. Star 80. That was 1979, 78. I think
it was 80.
80. It was 80. Star 80.
81,
right.
probably
81,
82.
Right. Yeah,
that was supposed to catapult him into a star, and he did nothing but second tier crap after that. That's
right. His sister took over for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brad, you gotta tell. The Sound of Silence. That's it for our movies this week. That's our
top 3.
Our slide away from sports, so to speak, for the most part.
You got anything else? Want me to wrap this up?
Yeah, throw some stuff at me.
You got some. All right. I need some intro music for the Walls Week in Review.
How about that? Get some intro music for it. How about this, huh? This is the best instrumentation I got. Now, Mikey Walls with this week's stuff.
Yeah, real original.
Listen, I need a 2-minute warning next time. You know, my engineer is sleeping right now.
You are the engineer. I'll kick things off. Are you? Yeah, I don't know if you heard about this new thing they started this year. It's the Veteran Combine. It's like the NFL Combine, but it's for veterans, for unemployed people.
How much to get into that?
No, it's for actual athletes. It's not for you and me.
Yeah, right.
I
mean, the fans, how much do they have to pay to get to see that?
No, it's free.
It's free.
You can go and watch it, and you can watch such stars as Vince Young is apparently the headliner. He's trying to get back in the league. You need to be invited, but then you also have to pay. You have to pay $1,000 to do
get in. Oh, somebody's making money.
So the scouts, the scouts got to come in. It's just a regular combine. They watch you throw, see if you still have it again. Apparently, there's about 100 or so people will be invited.
Is Terrell Owens there?
No, I don't think Terrell got. I don't think he can.
I'm surprised
he couldn't afford the $1,000 entry fee, so that was
Maybe
the rumor
not.
going around.
He's
But
gonna be scratching.
You should have made $1,000 off of that Celebrity Apprentice at least, or something.
I got fired, man.
He got fired. Well, he's still paying debt off there. He's got big problems. Did he get married for 5 minutes? Terrell got married. Did he? Real quick.
I didn't keep up with his personal life.
What's that?
I didn't keep up with his personal
I don't
life.
keep up. It's flashed to me on Yahoo every morning when I open up
every morning it's telling you your Terrell Owens updates.
What's next?
Speaking of comebacks in NBA, Baron Davis is said he's going to come back. He's a former All-Star.
Yeah, I know. He's got to be in his 40s, right?
Not that old. But he definitely, even when he played last, he was fat.
Play for the Sixers, it won't hurt him.
No, I thought you said he did. No, he wants
Baron
to play.
Davis.
He said he's leaking his own news now. He said, "I'm currently in talks with a playoff contender to sign me," which leads me to a question I would like to pose to you guys: what, with Vince Young and Baron Davis, is there any players out of the league now you would like to see come back?
Well, I think off
NBA,
anything.
Oh, okay.
I don't, as I see it, I don't come back from retirement already.
Yeah. Is anybody you missed one? You want to see him back? One last run?
Well, not that that's capable. No, there's nobody out there.
Well, no, you can't. I love to say Magic.
I like to see Brett Favre come back and give us some more. Well, no, I need a material. We bring him back. He was listen.
You don't want to see Tebow?
Donovan McFraud.
Tebow's got no material. Tebow. Everybody else causes Tebow's material. But Favre was beautiful. Said the right things. Went after the babes. Did everything right for us as far as material. You know what I mean? If I can get him back out there, he's a good help. But as far as his ability to play ball, I don't see anybody out there right now. Randy Moss might be able to play. I don't know how his injury or what he's about.
I don't think when you haven't played in 3 years, you can't be injured.
3 years.
You can't be injured.
Yeah,
unless you're Jason Richardson.
Yeah, I like to see. I really don't know. If you think about in this day of age, players leave because it's time to leave. Yeah. No one's just walking out of his league anymore. But if you're talking about a player off the top of my head to come back, there's a ton of players I'd like to see come back. They're old and done now.
Well, of course, that's not realistic.
Yeah, right. I mean, Allen Iverson, because he made his chance to come back. Iverson probably could have come back to the NBA if he kept himself together.
Yeah,
but because he tried, but it ain't going to happen.
That'd be the only one I can think of, Iverson, because it's the only one. Capable of that I know of. That's still,
and he's not. You
got to figure there's guys from his draft class that are still playing.
Yeah. Well,
Kobe and Nash. Right. Yeah. So I mean, there's it's not like it's out of the realm. Yeah, it's not like we're.
I'm trying to think somebody in any of the leagues that just left. Retired as winning a title or that type of thing.
Maybe for the
Pronger's out though. No,
I'm just saying
he's not coming back. But he can't come back.
I know, but that's what he's. If it's because of physically or
any reason why.
If he was held, I would like to see another couple seasons of him. He was a good player.
Well, Pronger, he's not a guy who make a difference type of player that you put out there. He's not going to change. You think about a Randy Moss type of an athlete who changed a game right there, having that weapon in there. Pronger wasn't a weapon. Wasn't the type of guy that you would go to the game to see Pronger play. I didn't go to a hockey game to see Pronger play defense. So if I'm going to bring a player back, he's got to make an impact, especially at that age, and he's already retired. You want to make it some kind of, boom. You just don't want to just put a player back there because he's capable of playing and not causing a difference.
I'm sure Yao Ming could play 10 minutes for a contender down the stretch.
Yeah, well, I don't know what he left because he just
he had ankle or leg and knee. I don't know, it's something. Yeah. What else we got? I don't know if you guys watched SNL this week, but I
missed that about the ISIS. I watched on the replay.
Absolutely hilarious. Yeah. But they're causing a big stir with that ISIS.
Yeah, it's just know what? It's once again it's politically correct. SNL does so much worse down the years of things between racial stuff, and I can't. We
gotta see if we can find a link of that and put that on Facebook.
If you go back and you look at everything that SNL did in the 70s and 80s, and even
Richard Pryor, even the first one with Richard Pryor, Spirit Chucker.
But here's the thing: it was when it was good when it pushed. It was created to push the envelope and say things that nobody would say on the air, and that's when it was good. When you did, I mean, could you do something like Eddie Murphy's Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood right now? No. You probably couldn't. It would be outcry. People would be mad.
Here's the thing they're missing on that stuff is the fact that you can make fun of ISIS and what they're doing makes it part of the defeating ISIS. If you fear them and don't make fun of them, it's like Bin Laden. There's all kinds of stuff done about him while he was still alive. Jokes, stories, people looking like him.
They did the fake little hostage video, not hostage, but the fake videos of him in a cave on S. They did all the time.
All that stuff they made. That's the whole idea. What is done to us by terrorism is to terrorize us into the fear. Now, if we make jokes of it, it means we're not fearing it. It's part of life. It's the show. That's what I tell you. That we're part of the show here. Life is a show. This is just part of the show that goes on that you're involved with. You got a front row to the show. It is what it is out there.
I was watching it live with my girlfriend, and I was laughing, and she's like, "Oh my god, like, can you do that?" Like,
the mother.
Am I allowed to laugh?
She kind of had that reaction. I was like, "This is awesome. Yeah. This is absolutely awesome."
It's not real. Number one, right off the bat, it's not real. It's to relieve you.
For those of you who haven't seen it, it's a dad dropping off his daughter. What it looks like could be college, but no, he's actually dropping
in the military, like the parody of that commercial in the Super Bowl.
But he's dropping his daughter off to join ISIS, and they're all on a truck with the guns. And
it's a Toyota commercial, isn't it?
I don't know what it is.
It's supposed to be a car commercial, isn't it?
No, it looks like it's just like a. It's not really supposed to be a commercial. I guess I don't even know what it was supposed to be.
The original commercial is a car commercial that you saw. It debuted in the World Series. I'm like, baby's growing up. And the best part, the funniest part is, take care of my daughter. Will you take care of my little girl? And he goes, Death to America.
Yeah.
Death to America is what made everybody berserk after they heard that.
Get over it.
It's once again, it's SNL is what it is. They made fun of Sarah Palin, even when she was running for vice president or whatever.
They made fun of all the presidents.
If anything, it made her more popular.
Yeah, exactly what it is. And it's it doesn't make ISIS, whatever the hell they call these what are they called? I see them called 30 different names now.
Just ISIS.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, it's to make fun of them is part of defeating them. Bottom line, that's just what it is. But it makes better news when you go after SNL for what a political needs it's necessary, because that's what it's all about here. Republicans, Democrats, back and forth, conservatives, left, right, all that bullshit that goes back and forth. Who can get the better ratings over bitching about it? And that's what it's about. I mean, SNL could care less. They're not going off the air. You're not taking them off.
As long as you talk about it.
They got more power.
Because it's going to get more views on Sunday and Monday.
Yeah, absolutely. It's YouTube. It's more people. I watch on YouTube. I didn't see it on the show. I mean, quite frankly, you don't have to watch any show anymore. You just watch YouTube.
Just Google the best parts.
That's exactly it. And that's what you can do here with the Sports Goombahs too. If you don't want to listen to 2 hours of our crap, you can Google through the different areas. And what we're gonna do is Mikey does this after every show is he'll break it out for you.
I'll tell you where to go.
At what time each segment is. If you want to talk hockey, football, basketball, movies, that kind of stuff. My picks, my winning picks. He'll chop it up for you, so you're gonna listen to all this crap for 2 hours. If you don't want to. We prefer you do it because we have advertisers for the most part.
Also, I don't even know what they even call him anymore, but Derrick Rose, another knee surgery. He's out 4 to 6 weeks again.
He's been decimated since that Sixers series. Yeah. That was the
Sixers series that ended his career.
Yep.
He won the MVP that year.
Yep.
We absolutely.
Chicago was supposed to move on against LA to maybe challenge him. Was it LA or after, or was San Antonio that year?
I don't know who was at. It was the first.
It
was the first round. I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm saying that they're the team was supposed to go, and the Sixers knocked them out, right?
Yeah, we knocked them out the first round. We were like the 7th seed or something like that.
That's probably the worst thing that could happen to the Sixers that year was knock them out.
No. Feel like the worst thing that could happen to the Bulls.
But I'm saying to us too, because it made the Sixers look like
who's
the star for them that year?
It was Iguodala.
Iguodala, right? Yeah, that was.
We had Iguodala, we had Holiday, we had like all those guys, but
right.
Yeah, they weren't serious, but that was a fun series to watch.
Well, because we needed that because it's been since '91 since we had any kind of, or 2001 until we had that run. But yeah.
Sad. It's sad because Rose was he was 23, 24, prime of his career, and then he's done his career. I mean, this was like his comeback year, and now he's getting another knee surgery, so he's done. We put a fork in him.
Yeah.
This is more regionalized to us here in Philadelphia for big news for us because franchise tags Des Bryant, Demaryius Thomas. So there's the two biggest fish off the board. You need to bring Macklin back now.
What's going on with Des Bryant? They got this video out there. I didn't read much on it because it's
hard to read because it's all speculation. Yeah. Apparently, a video. That's actually I was going to mention that.
But if it was out there, we'd be seeing it by now.
Yes.
Well,
that's not me. That's some people were saying like, oh, they're just making it up because if it was real, we would have seen it. I'm like, Ray Rice's video took 9 months to surface. So the fact that Des Bryant's video hasn't surfaced or whatever, what I find the most interesting is they're saying, oh, this is 5 times worse. The Ray Rice video.
How could it be 5 times worse? That's what I said. 5. What? Did you chop somebody's head off?
Did you literally see the knife insert into the throat? What's 5 times worse?
An OJ on him.
I'm watching that. I'm like, and if that's a real thing and it's 5 times worse, we're not talking about getting suspended. We're talking about he's probably gonna go to jail for being 5 times worse.
Enough of him. He in the end of that playoff run, which him and his helmet off and all his bitching and moaning about everything and that kind of stuff, me stuff. And I explained to you about the catch and the whole 9 and whatever was going on with that one. And there's a reason why that all turned bad for him. I just think his career is going to go the other way now because he wants that Terrell Owens limelight on him. Everything's about him. He's that type of player. I don't see him as a team player.
I'm surprised if he didn't leak this video himself for just the publicity.
Right. And he's got it. And maybe there's no video. And 5 times he's not thinking straight. Not 2 times, not 1 time, not as bad. He goes 5 times.
He's got to one-up everybody.
Run up everybody. Right. And that's the player it is. And thus that's the Dallas Cowboys.
Not a related note, NFL free agency note, Ndamukong Suh is officially unrestricted free agent.
You take him?
I would in a heartbeat.
What's he's got 2 suspensions on him so far?
At least. One overturned.
One overturned, right. He just likes to step on people.
He loves stepping and stomping.
That's
what he does.
Attitude problem. That's all.
Isn't that what you want out of a D tackle?
It's not he's kicking guys in the balls, though.
He did that.
He did that already.
He did that.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like, what do you mean?
It's not like he's kicking balls.
Well, I give it to with the franchise tag today. Isn't it great? The NFL, like we've always talked about the machine that it is. It managed to steal.
Machine.
Yeah. It managed to steal. Like, this should be, like, if you're a hockey guy, this should be one of the best days to see who's going where, see who's given up. And 1 hour after the trade deadline for the NHL,
franchise tag
for a franchise tag at 4 o'clock, they just stole it right now.
I don't
talk about kicking somebody in the balls. That's the NFL kicking the NHL.
Well, I don't get what the franchise tag is they say it's like it makes your player angry to do that, but you make them like one of the highest, like 3 to 5 paid players in the league. I'd be pumped for that.
Yeah.
And it goes off the position you play. So if you franchise a receiver, you make like $14.5 million for 1 year.
You got to stay with your team, right?
Yeah, but
if you're not happy where you are,
right. Most of the franchise players are happy where they are. That's why they get franchised. But if you want to, do a guy dirty by keeping him around because you don't want him going anywhere, he wants to leave, that's what you do, for the most part.
And 2 more quick things. One of them is, I don't know if you saw this, but the Oakland A's have a relief pitcher. In camp this year, he's a switch pitcher.
I saw that.
Yeah, he has a specialized glove that he can switch.
I've been waiting for that
middle of an inning.
I've been waiting for that to happen forever.
You talked about it 2 years on the show.
Because I talked about it because my daughter was throwing both arms, and before she was becoming an athlete years ago, she was throwing with both arms. So I didn't know which way she was going. And I thought to myself, in this day and age of athletes, there's nobody out there who can throw both. And if they did, wouldn't that be the amazing pitcher to have?
And that's like what he's like. His one thing, it's what makes him so valuable. And his numbers are good. He had like a 2.5 ERA last year, but
for which arm? Combined, I mean,
his body.
Think about it.
But you got to think, like, not only can I be this, I can be that. Like, he switches mid-inning. That's what he has, like a specialized glove that can go on both. He doesn't need to switch gloves.
I'm wondering if they're going to make a rule on that.
They did make a rule because
that's crazy.
Apparently, he can change whenever he wants. There's no rule against that.
That's my team from last year.
They did do a thing where apparently something happened in the minors where a switch hitter came up to the plate. So the guy came in right, so he went to his right-hand glove. So the switch went around, hit left, so he switched to his left-hand thing. And eventually they kept doing it back and forth for like 5 minutes, and eventually called it off. Said, you both need to go right-handed, and that's that. They made a rule the next day.
Yeah, that I could see happen with the switch hitters. Is he bat both hands too?
That's cool.
No, I don't know. He's a relief pitcher in the American League, so he's never going to bat.
Yeah.
But but switch hitters will keep switching back with you. So now they made a rule where you have to determine before an at bat what you're going to be doing.
So when you step into the box, you got to come in right or left, and he can't change.
Well, and they said the pitcher has to choose first.
So he can't switch.
He can't switch mid-pitch. Like he can switch from like, if you're up and you're righty, I'm throwing righty. You're up, you're righty, I throw righty. But he's a lefty. I can throw lefty to him. But I can't just go like, your switch. I can't, pitch one and go right. You switch sides, so I switch sides, and you switch sides.
So if the rule is
declare,
if I'm on the mound, okay, if I'm on the mound, if he's on the mound, he's throwing a left-handed pitch, and then he can't turn and throw right to the same batter.
He can't do that. He has to do it before a pitch. Whatever he does before the first pitch, he can't switch
every time.
For every at bat.
Oh, if he's good, that's killer, man.
Yeah,
that's killer. If he can do that and maintain.
Yeah, because then so you play
a switch hitter. Yeah, just think about it. Like that Jimmy Rollins doesn't have any power on his right. Or left or whatever, and you just sit there and go, I don't care. I'm just going to make. I'm going to make them pitch.
Well, it's just like if you have a lineup where it goes like real deep, righty, lefty, righty, instead of having to go, oh crap, now we're going to have to we'll bring our star righty in, but now he's got to face this lefty.
Dude, I'm not starting this guy. He's my relief. He's my
late inning guy.
Yeah,
he's a reliever guy. Yeah. Man. That's gonna be dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think here's what else. This may start a trend.
This is what we got to think about too. He's not using his arms. He's usually splitting the traps, and now his arms.
I didn't even think about it that way.
He might even you got 5 more years out of this guy, as long as his mechanics are right.
I've been waiting for this to happen. I was wondering why it hasn't happened.
At the radio station, the old place, you said it on the. Yeah. I had to be 3 years ago now. Why can't he just do that? And he goes, could you imagine that beat just coming up going, never mind, I'm going to switch.
Yeah, switch right on there. Yeah, thing.
Which way?
Could blow a whole line up to pieces.
I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling
it. Was right when your daughter started high school.
Yeah, right.
And she was going and playing for the other teams. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something to keep an eye on. His name, I'll give him some love, and so we can follow him. His name is Pat Vendette.
Oh, he's perfect for the show. Write him down. Get a picture on him on the wall next week. Put him up on the wall.
And the very last thing to say before we get out of here is, can I tune up the music real quick? Does anybody have any happy birthday music? Because it was the Bieber's 21st birthday over the weekend.
Who?
Happy birthday, Justin Bieber.
I'm not playing. No.
Happy birthday, Justin.
Oh, I'm turning that down. I'm turning him right the frick off down. Get it. Your mic's off. Justin Bieber. How old is he?
21.
What? He's only 21?
21.
What a little peon poop, man.
This guy, Paul Vendette, he's 29 years old already.
Any video on that? Is there video on that? No.
No, I got
probably on YouTube.
Picture of him? He's 29?
He's 29.
Oh, man, that blows it away a little bit.
Oh, no, because if you're going to get an extra 5 years out of everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but still 29. It's like the development's over there. He's, there's no play in the guy.
Interesting, though.
Yeah, very interesting. Very indeed.
He's drafted by the Yankees.
And they let him go.
There's a reason.
Yeah, something's up there.
Well, we'll dig deeper and have it for you next week.
To thank everybody for joining the Sports Goombahs this week. Give you some winners. Hopefully, I'm going to give you a couple more this week for those of you who follow the NHL. A little college ball by Mikey Wall here. We might let Brendan in next week. Why don't you pick some college baseball or something for us?
I want
some interleague baseball.
I'll have baseball for you because I tried to do a little hockey. You yelled at me.
Well, hey,
pick one too.
Don't come sliding in the hockey action here. I'm Cash the King. I got my chef to left, Brendan B. Thank all our sponsors. Join us next week on the Sports Goombahs. We'll see you.
Happy birthday, Bieber.